Tonight, as you prepare to close your eyes, I want you to understand a truth that has been hidden in plain sight your entire life. The power that governs your destiny is already inside you. It is not in the stars, it is not in luck, it is not in the unpredictable winds of circumstance. It is in the silent, tireless servant that works day and night beneath the surface of your awareness, the subconscious mind. This unseen power does not argue. It does not resist, it does not reason. It accepts. Whatever you impress upon it, it will express. Every condition in your outer world is nothing more than a mirror reflecting what has been imprinted on the inner screen of your thoughts and beliefs. As you drift into sleep, the veil between conscious and subconscious becomes thin, and every word, every image, every conviction you allow in this sacred hour plants seeds that will grow into the conditions of your tomorrows. That is why tonight we will sow seeds of abundance, health, peace, and power into your inner garden, so that when you awaken, the harvest will already be on its way. The law of life is the law of belief. Say it softly to yourself as you lie in your bed. The law of life is the law of belief. What you believe with feeling becomes your experience. Your subconscious does not differentiate between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It responds with absolute fidelity to the dominant impression. If you fall asleep with worry, you water the roots of fear. If you fall asleep with resentment, you reinforce the chains that bind you. But if you fall asleep affirming love, success, vitality, and divine order, your subconscious will take those impressions and construct them into reality, just as a seed becomes a tree without your conscious effort. Tonight we will practice this law, not as theory, but as living truth. Take it, write it down, whisper it until it sinks into the silence. I believe in divine order. I believe in peace. I believe in abundance. And because I believe, it is done unto me. There is no limit to the treasures that flow from the infinite source within. You may have been taught to struggle, to strain, to compete in the dust of life's marketplace. But I tell you that true wealth flows from within. You are not a beggar scraping for coins. You are a channel through which divine abundance pours like a golden river. Imagine it now as you prepare to drift into sleep. See yourself standing in that river of light, feeling it wash over you, filling every cell with vitality, cleansing every shadow of fear or doubt. The river does not question whether you are worthy. It flows because that is its nature. Your task is not to create it, but to allow it. Release every thought of limitation, every fear of lack, and simply affirm, I am a free-flowing channel of infinite abundance. Let these words drop into the deep soil of your mind. They will take root and manifest as prosperity, opportunities, and blessings beyond measure. Consider this. Your subconscious mind cannot resist what you give it. If you give it darkness, it will create confusion. If you give it light, it will create clarity. This is why faith is not merely a religious term. It is the psychological mechanism by which your subconscious accepts an idea. Every thought backed by faith becomes law to your inner mind. Faith is expectancy. Faith is the attitude of knowing that what you impress is already yours. Tonight, impress faith. As you exhale, let go of every doubt. As you inhale, affirm silently, I am guided by infinite intelligence. Every step I take is ordered by divine wisdom. Repeat it with calm conviction, for repetition is the language of the subconscious. Like drops of water hollowing a stone, every repetition engraves deeper the pattern of your destiny. Whisper it, write it, let it echo until your heart believes, I am guided, I am protected, I am free. In this stillness, I want you to remember the great law, as within, so without. Your environment, your relationships, your financial state, your health, these are not random accidents. They are the projection of your inner movie. Your subconscious mind is the projector, your outer life is the screen. To change the picture, you do not scratch at the screen, you change the reel. Tonight you are changing reels, you are replacing images of struggle with images of ease. You are replacing pictures of fear with visions of courage. You are replacing scenes of poverty with landscapes of overflowing abundance. See it as though it were real now. Feel it in your body. Let your heartbeat carry the rhythm of success already achieved. As you fall asleep, let the new film roll endlessly in your mind, for your subconscious will replay it without pause until it becomes your waking reality. Every word you speak is a seed. Seeds do not grow overnight, but they never fail to grow when planted in fertile soil. The subconscious is that soil. Tonight you are planting. You are not hoping. You are not wishing. You are planting. And because you are planting with faith, you already know the harvest is certain. Say it now with firm conviction. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. My subconscious mind accepts this truth and expresses it in perfect order. These words are not idle. They are forces. They will work silently in the night, producing results you could never calculate with reason alone. The subconscious is infinite in resources. What seems impossible to the conscious mind is simple to the inner mind. Plant and trust, sow and rest. Your subconscious will do the rest. Do not be disturbed by appearances. The surface of life may show storms, but beneath the surface the deep currents flow steady and sure. The subconscious is that depth. When you impress upon it the image of harmony, even if the outer world looks chaotic, soon the surface will conform to the depth. Remember this as you drift off. Never finish a negative statement. Reverse it immediately. If you hear yourself saying, "I cannot afford this," immediately affirm, "Wealth flows to me freely in perfect ways." If you are tempted to say, "I am too weak," replace it instantly with, "I am filled with divine strength and radiant health." In this way you are training your mind, disciplining it as a gardener pulls weeds and plants flowers, and the harvest will not delay. You will wake to opportunities and conditions aligned with the seeds you sowed tonight. Now I invite you to visualize with the ease of a child. See yourself already living in the reality you desire. See yourself healthy, strong, radiant. See yourself loved, respected, and secure. See your home filled with peace and beauty. Do not see it as something far away. See it as present. The subconscious does not work in the future. It works in the now. When you feel the joy of already possessing the good you seek, the subconscious begins to shape reality accordingly. This is the meaning of thinking from the end. You assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and in that assumption lies its power. So tonight, as your eyes grow heavy, smile inwardly and rest in the assurance it is already done. The subconscious mind, united with the infinite, has accepted the seed. Tomorrow and the days that follow, you will walk among the fruits. And so I leave you now with this affirmation. Let it echo in your mind until sleep takes you into its silent temple. Whisper it with faith. Write it if you must. Etch it into the deepest part of yourself. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. My subconscious mind accepts this truth and expresses it in perfect order. Rest now in that conviction. Sleep in peace, knowing that the work is already done, and that divine order is shaping your tomorrow even as you dream tonight. Every breath you take now is an instruction to your subconscious mind. When you breathe with fear, you command anxiety. When you breathe with trust, you command peace. Your subconscious listens not only to the words you speak, but to the emotions you feel, the rhythm of your body, and the quiet convictions you allow to linger. As you settle deeper into stillness, let your breath carry the suggestion of calm mastery. Inhale slowly and affirm, "I am safe." Exhale gently and affirm, "I am free." With each cycle, you are engraving the pattern of serenity into the very depths of your being. This is not mere imagination. This is law. Every impression impressed with feeling must find its expression in your life. You are sowing calm now, and you shall reap calm tomorrow. Understand this profound principle. Your subconscious cannot resist your imagination. It is compelled by it. When you imagine with faith, the subconscious must produce according to that image. This is why great inventors, artists, and visionaries have always spoken of the creative power of dreams. It was never only their conscious reasoning that birthed discoveries. It was the fertile ground of the subconscious, faithfully reproducing the seeds they planted before sleep. Tonight you too are an inventor, an artist, a visionary. You are painting pictures upon the screen of your inner mind, and those pictures will solidify into the facts of your life. Picture abundance, and abundance will manifest. Picture health, and health will bloom. Picture peace, and peace will govern your affairs. Never doubt it, for the subconscious has no limit except the one you impose through disbelief. Think of your subconscious as a silent servant. It never rests. It never argues. It never questions the orders it is given. If you command it with fear, it will obey and create fearful outcomes. If you command it with love, it will obey and create loving conditions. As you drift into sleep, you are now the captain giving orders to this invisible crew. Stand tall in your inner command. Speak to your subconscious with authority, but also with gentleness. Affirm now, "My subconscious mind is my faithful servant. It carries out my instructions with perfect precision. Everything I impress upon it comes to pass in divine order." Do not whisper these words like weak hopes. Speak them inwardly with quiet authority. You are not begging, you are commanding, and the subconscious always obeys. Consider the law of sowing and reaping. As you sow, so shall you reap. This is not a moral suggestion, but a universal law. Sow thoughts of harmony, and harmony must return to you multiplied. Sow thoughts of sickness, and sickness will manifest. Sow resentment, and resentment will entangle your life in suffering. But tonight you choose to sow the good seed. Sow joy, sow wealth, sow success, sow divine love. You do not need to know how it will return or by what channel it will flow. The law itself guarantees the harvest. Say it now with inner conviction. As I sow peace, peace returns to me multiplied. As I sow love, love returns to me multiplied. As I sow abundance, abundance returns to me multiplied. Let these affirmations become the rhythm of your soul as you descend deeper into rest. There is only one source, and that source is the life principle within you. All things flow from it. Wealth is not out there in the pockets of others. It springs from within. Health is not only in medicine or rituals. It flows from the infinite life within you. Success is not merely a matter of external conditions. It is the inevitable expression of your inner convictions. Tonight you align with this truth. You no longer look outside in fear or desperation. You look within and realize, I am a focal point of the divine presence. From within me flow harmony, beauty, guidance, and abundance. I am a free-flowing channel of infinite riches. Speak these words with quiet reverence, for every repetition engraves a deeper groove in the subconscious. These grooves become channels, and through those channels your blessings will pour. Your imagination is not idle play. It is rehearsal for reality. As you rest, imagine yourself in the condition you desire most. Do not imagine as though watching a movie of yourself far away. Step into the picture. Feel it as present. See your hands holding the symbol of your success. Feel the warmth of health in your body. Hear the laughter of companionship around you. Smell the fragrance of abundance in the air. The more vivid your imagination, the more your subconscious is compelled to reproduce it. This is the secret of all great prayer, all genuine faith, all true manifestation, to think from the end and dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled. Tonight dwell there, linger there, sleep there, and tomorrow your subconscious will already be arranging the conditions for its expression. Do not let old memories of failure disturb you. They are shadows, not substance. Your subconscious only knows what you tell it now. The past has no power except the power you continue to give it through repetition. Replace every memory of defeat with images of victory. Replace every scar of rejection with the assurance of divine love. Replace every fear of lack with visions of overflowing abundance. Say to yourself now, I release the past. I am free from every shadow of yesterday. My subconscious accepts the new pattern of success, love, and peace. This affirmation is not a denial of your history, but a rewriting of your destiny. You are not bound by what was. You are free to choose what is being planted now. As you slip deeper toward sleep, remember that happiness and peace do not come from external things. They come from within. If you wait for circumstances to change before you feel joy, you will be waiting forever. But if you choose joy now, your subconscious will create circumstances that reflect it. This is the law of correspondence. As within, so without. Whisper it inwardly. Joy lives within me now. Peace lives within me now. Love lives within me now. Prosperity lives within me now. My subconscious accepts this truth, and it is expressed in my world. Rest in this certainty. You are no longer chasing shadows. You are creating reality from within. And now I leave you in this moment with an affirmation to carry into your dreams. Say it, write it, engrave it in the depths of your soul. I am guided by infinite intelligence. I am surrounded by divine love. I am free, I am wealthy, I am whole. My subconscious mind accepts these truths and expresses them in perfect order. Sleep now in the peace of this assurance, for what you have sown tonight will surely rise as the harvest of your tomorrows. Every night is an opening of the invisible gates. When you close your eyes and surrender the conscious mind, you step into the temple where your subconscious receives its orders. This temple does not argue, it does not analyze, it simply accepts. If you bring fear into its halls, it engraves fear upon your destiny. If you bring faith, it engraves faith upon your destiny. Tonight you will carry only faith, only love, only the radiant conviction that divine order governs your life. You are now standing at the doorway of infinite possibility, and with every breath, every word, every image you decide what tomorrow shall hold. This is not chance, this is law. Whatever you impress will be expressed. Your subconscious mind is always awake. Even as your body rests and your conscious mind drifts into silence, the deeper mind continues to work tirelessly, ceaselessly, shaping, building, arranging. It is the hidden builder of your destiny, the invisible artist painting your tomorrows on the canvas of space. The question is never whether it will work. It is only what material you are giving it. Do you feed it with images of lack, disease, resentment, or do you feed it with visions of wealth, health, and love? Tonight you will give it only the finest material. You will supply it with the blueprint of harmony, success, and divine guidance. As surely as the seed contains the tree, these impressions will unfold with mathematical certainty. There is a law of the subconscious that you must engrave deeply in your soul. What you impress, you express. This law is not selective. It does not reward the virtuous and punish the wicked. It simply operates without partiality, like fire that warms or burns depending on how it is used. If you impress despair, despair will be expressed. If you impress abundance, abundance will be expressed. This is why discipline of thought is the highest discipline. It is not enough to guard your words in the daylight. You must also guard the images you carry into the night. As you lie here in stillness, affirm with calm strength, I impress harmony, I express harmony, I impress abundance, I express abundance, I impress peace, I express peace. Let these words echo until your whole being vibrates with their reality. Your subconscious is not bound by time or space. To it, yesterday, today, and tomorrow are one. To it, the image you hold vividly is as real as the event itself. This is why imagination is stronger than memory. Memory recalls what has been. Imagination creates what shall be. If you dwell on memories of loss, your subconscious will reproduce loss. But if you dwell on images of triumph, your subconscious will construct triumph. Tonight you release every limiting memory and replace it with the vision of your highest self. See yourself radiant, strong, prosperous, at peace. Do not wait for years to believe this. Believe it now. Your subconscious has already accepted the image, and it is already at work shaping conditions to reflect it. Faith is expectancy, and expectancy is the language your subconscious understands. When you fall asleep expecting trouble, your subconscious builds trouble. When you fall asleep expecting miracles, your subconscious arranges miracles. It is not arrogance to expect good. It is alignment with divine law. The infinite source from which you came is inexhaustible, eternal, overflowing. To expect smallness is to deny its nature. To expect greatness is to honor it. Tonight expect greatness. Whisper to yourself, I expect health. I expect abundance. I expect peace. My subconscious accepts this expectancy and expresses it with certainty. Let the quiet conviction of these words sink deeper than doubt, deeper than fear, until they become the foundation of your being. Every thought is a seed, and every seed will bear fruit after its kind. You cannot plant thorns and harvest figs. You cannot plant weeds and harvest roses. The subconscious is your soil, and it does not discriminate. It will grow whatever is planted with repetition and emotion. Plant wisely tonight. As you prepare for sleep, say to yourself, I plant only the seeds of love, wealth, joy, and divine wisdom. These seeds are taking root in the garden of my subconscious. They will grow into conditions of beauty, success, and peace. Rest in the certainty of this law, for it has never failed. As surely as the seasons turn, your harvest is guaranteed. You may wonder how these things will come to pass. That is not your concern. The subconscious works through channels unknown to you, drawing on resources you cannot measure, arranging circumstances in ways your conscious mind could never predict. Your role is only to impress with faith and leave the method to the infinite intelligence. Do not disturb the seed by digging it up to see if it has sprouted. Plant it once, water it with faith, and rest. Your subconscious will work through divine order. Trust this process, for it has worked since the beginning of time. Say it quietly now. I trust divine order. I rest in divine timing. My subconscious mind expresses only good in my life. Even now, as you listen, your subconscious is absorbing every word. It is recording every affirmation, every image, every conviction. It is writing a new story for your life, a story of strength, abundance, and peace. You need not strive, you need not struggle. You need only surrender to this law. Sleep in faith, sleep in assurance. Sleep knowing that the infinite presence within you is already at work. You are not alone, you are not forgotten, you are not weak. You are the channel of divine power, and your subconscious is its instrument. Rest in that truth now. Before you close your eyes fully, let this affirmation be the last thought engraved upon your mind. I impress abundance, health, and peace upon my subconscious, and it expresses them in perfect order. I live in divine harmony. I walk in divine love. I rest in divine assurance. My subconscious has accepted these truths, and they are now my reality. There is a stillness deeper than silence itself. And as you rest here tonight, you are entering it. In this stillness, the conscious mind lets go, and the subconscious stands open like fertile ground awaiting the seed. Whatever you plant here is magnified, nurtured, and inevitably expressed. That is why the hour of sleep is sacred. It is the doorway between the seen and the unseen, between the conscious command and the subconscious execution. Every affirmation you whisper now carries more weight than hours of daytime chatter. Every image you hold as your eyes grow heavy is an instruction written in fire upon the inner mind. This is the hour to choose wisely, to impress truth, abundance, and harmony upon the living soil of your subconscious. And tonight, that is exactly what you shall do. The subconscious has no power of its own to argue or resist. It does not reason. It does not analyze. It does not judge. It simply receives. If you impress fear, it expresses fear. If you impress health, it expresses health. This is why those who dwell in negativity live lives that seem trapped in cycles of despair. They are not cursed by fate. They are simply impressing curses upon themselves without knowing. But you are awake now to the truth. You are choosing to impress only blessings, only light, only abundance. As you drift into sleep, you are turning away from shadows and commanding the inner mind with conviction. I impress light. I express light. I impress success. I express success. I impress divine love. I express divine love. Repeat this quietly and know with certainty that it is already accepted by your deeper self. Never forget this eternal law. Every thought is a cause, and every condition is an effect. This is the chain that binds every man and woman to their destiny. If you would change the effect, you must first change the cause. To try to alter outer conditions without changing the inner cause is like repainting the reflection in a mirror without changing the object it reflects. Your subconscious is the cause. Your outer life is the effect. Therefore tonight you are not striving in the outer world. You are adjusting the inner. And when the inner shifts, the outer must follow with precision. Say it to yourself now. I change my thoughts, and my life is changed. I change my beliefs, and my conditions are transformed. This is not poetry. This is law, and it has never failed. Understand that the subconscious mind works ceaselessly. Even as you sleep, it is carrying out the instructions impressed upon it. It works through dreams, through impulses, through opportunities, through coincidences so perfect they reveal themselves as divine order. Your only duty is to impress the right instructions. Leave the method to infinite intelligence. Do not attempt to dictate how the blessing must arrive. That is the folly of the conscious mind. Instead, rest in the assurance that the subconscious knows the way. Trust it, believe in it. Surrender your need to control the channel and affirm only the end. Whisper now, the method is divine. The outcome is certain. My subconscious carries out the perfect way to my success, my health, my peace. With these words you release all anxiety, and in that release lies your freedom. Imagination is the workshop of the subconscious. Whatever image you give it, it builds. Imagine lack, and lack will come. Imagine plenty, and plenty will arrive. Imagine sickness, and sickness will manifest. But imagine radiant health, and health must blossom. Imagine wealth flowing like a river, and prosperity must appear. Tonight your imagination is the architect, and your subconscious is the builder. Therefore, build wisely. Close your eyes and see yourself walking through a life of ease and success. See doors opening before you, opportunities rising effortlessly, companions who uplift and inspire you. Feel the joy as if it is already yours. Hear the sounds of laughter and abundance echoing through your world. The subconscious cannot deny what you vividly imagine with faith. It must reproduce it in form, for that is its eternal function. You must also understand the role of emotion. The subconscious responds not to hollow words, but to words charged with feeling. A cold statement leaves no imprint, but a statement spoken with faith carves its pattern into eternity. That is why affirmation must be felt, not merely repeated. As you speak these truths tonight, feel their reality. Feel the joy of abundance, the peace of health, the radiance of love. Infuse every affirmation with emotion, and the subconscious will bow to that authority. Say now with deep conviction, I feel the wealth of the infinite flowing through me. I feel the peace of God filling every part of me. I feel the love of the divine guiding every step I take. These feelings are the language of creation, and your subconscious is listening. There is a sacred rhythm in life, a divine order that governs all things. The stars move in harmony, the seasons turn in harmony, the tides rise and fall in harmony. And your life too is meant to move in harmony when you align with the law of belief. The disorder you see in the outer world is only the reflection of inner disorder. Tonight you choose harmony. Tonight you align with divine order. Rest in the awareness that everything in your life is now being reordered by the subconscious according to the blueprint of peace and abundance. Whisper it as you surrender to sleep. Divine order governs my life. Divine order directs my ways. Divine order shapes my destiny. As these words sink deeper, your subconscious takes them as command and begins reshaping all conditions to match them. Release every last thought of resistance. Do not struggle to make things happen. Do not wrestle with the future. Surrender is not weakness, it is wisdom. To surrender is to allow the infinite to move through you unobstructed. The moment you let go, the power of the subconscious flows freely. Tonight let go of every fear, every plan, every burden. Say it quietly. I let go, and I let God. I trust the infinite presence within me. My subconscious works in perfect order as I sleep. Rest in this trust, for it is the highest form of faith. As you drift into deeper rest, feel the weight lifting from your mind. The subconscious carries it now, and it will not fail. So let this affirmation be the seed you plant tonight. I impress truth, peace, and abundance upon my subconscious, and they are expressed in divine order. My life is governed by harmony, guided by wisdom, and filled with the riches of the infinite. My subconscious has accepted this, and it is so. Sleep now in the assurance of this law, for what you have impressed tonight will soon appear in the daylight of your tomorrow. In the silence of this night, you are closer than ever to the infinite presence within you. The world outside grows still, and within that stillness the eternal voice speaks. It is written in the book of Proverbs, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Your subconscious is that heart, the inner chamber where thought becomes flesh, where belief becomes reality. What you impress upon it in this sacred hour becomes the law of your existence. This is why every word you whisper now is a command to your future. Guard it, honor it, direct it toward life, not death, abundance, not lack, joy, not sorrow. Tonight your every thought is a prayer, and your subconscious is the altar on which it is offered. The psalmist declared, "This is the day the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it." As you rest now, know that tomorrow is already prepared by the impressions you give tonight. When you rejoice inwardly, your subconscious creates conditions of joy outwardly. When you give thanks before seeing, the infinite responds by arranging the scene to match your unseen gratitude. Gratitude is faith in action. Whisper softly, "I rejoice in divine order. I am glad in the abundance of God." My subconscious accepts this joy and expresses it in my world. With these words, you are not waiting for a reason to rejoice. You are giving the cause, and the effect must follow. Consider the words of Christ in Matthew, "According to your faith be it unto you." Faith is not passive, it is expectancy. When you fall asleep expecting the worst, you plant seeds of despair. When you fall asleep expecting the best, you plant seeds of victory. Tonight you choose faith, you choose expectancy. You choose to impress upon your subconscious the radiant assurance that all things are possible to him who believes. Whisper now with quiet certainty, "My faith makes me whole. My faith makes me prosperous. My faith brings me peace. My subconscious has accepted this, and it is being done unto me." Remember also the words in Mark, "Whosoever shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe, he shall have whatsoever he saith." The mountain is not outside you. The mountain is the obstacle you have accepted within yourself. The fear, the doubt, the resentment, the memory of failure, these are the mountains. But the law is clear. Speak to the mountain with faith, and it must move. Tonight speak inwardly with conviction. Every mountain in my life is removed. Every obstacle is dissolved. My subconscious expresses only harmony and freedom. Let these words echo in your heart until they become more real than any obstacle could ever appear to be. Paul the Apostle said, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." Transformation is not a mystery. It is the inevitable result of new impressions. Renew your mind and your life is renewed. Keep repeating the old thoughts and the old life will remain. Tonight you are renewing, you are planting new seeds, you are affirming, "I am transformed by divine renewal." My subconscious accepts only thoughts of health, wealth, and peace. As you let these words settle into your inner being, know that renewal has already begun. The old is passing, the new is arising, and the law guarantees its manifestation. In Philippians we read, "Think on these things, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report. Your subconscious reproduces what you dwell on. If you think on misery, misery multiplies. If you think on what is pure, lovely, and of good report, these qualities will shine in your world. Tonight, think only on these things. Whisper inwardly, I dwell on truth, on love, on peace, on abundance. My subconscious accepts these impressions and expresses them in perfect order. In this way, you fulfill the command not as ritual but as living practice. The prophet Isaiah declared, Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. Peace is not the absence of noise or struggle, it is the presence of divine order within. When your mind is stayed on the infinite, the subconscious reflects only harmony. As you fall asleep, fix your mind gently on God's presence within you. Say quietly, Perfect peace fills me now. Perfect peace governs my subconscious. Perfect peace is expressed in my world. Rest in that assurance, for the promise is eternal. He shall keep you in perfect peace. And now let your final thought tonight be both affirmation and prayer. Whisper it with reverence. Write it if you must, but let it sink deeply. I am one with Christ within. I am guided by divine love. I am filled with divine peace. I am prospered by divine abundance. My subconscious has accepted these truths, and they are now expressed in my life. Sleep in this faith, knowing the word has gone forth, and it cannot return void. There is a golden thread that runs through every great teaching, every sacred scripture, every whisper of wisdom passed down through the ages, and that thread is this: As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Not as he pretends, not as he wishes, not as he outwardly performs, but as he truly believes deep within. The heart is the subconscious mind, the inner sanctuary where your real convictions are stored. You may smile outwardly and speak words of hope, but if within you carry fear, your life will mirror fear. You may act strong in front of others, but if within you believe in weakness, your life will manifest weakness. Tonight you are rewriting that inner belief. Tonight you are impressing truths so deeply upon your heart that they will overwrite every false conviction of the past. This is the work of true transformation, and it begins now. The subconscious does not ask whether what you tell it is good or bad, true or false, worthy or unworthy. It simply accepts. It is like fertile soil that does not reject the seed. If you plant poison, poison will grow. If you plant wheat, wheat will grow. The responsibility lies with the sower. That is why you must become vigilant over the seeds you scatter each night as you prepare for sleep. You are the gardener of your destiny. If weeds have grown in your past, it is because you unknowingly planted them through fear, resentment, or doubt. But tonight you take the plow into your own hands. Tonight you uproot every weed of failure and plant the seeds of success, abundance, and health. Say it now with conviction. I am the gardener of my mind. I plant only seeds of truth, and they grow into a harvest of blessings. There is a law of substitution that is vital to understand. You cannot simply eliminate a thought by force. The subconscious does not understand negation. If you say, I will not fail, the image of failure remains. If you say, I do not want poverty, the image of poverty persists. The subconscious responds to what is impressed, not to the word not. The only way to cast out a negative thought is to replace it with its opposite. If fear arises, affirm faith. If weakness whispers, declare strength. If poverty threatens, affirm abundance. You are not fighting shadows, you are turning on the light. Tonight you will practice substitution until it becomes natural. Whisper it gently. I am strong, I am abundant, I am free. The subconscious accepts these impressions, and the shadows dissolve in the radiance of truth. Do not be deceived by appearances. What you see with your outer eyes is but a temporary reflection of old impressions. If your life has shown struggle, it is because of seeds planted long ago. Do not mistake the harvest of yesterday for the promise of tomorrow. Tonight you are planting anew, and the new harvest will come. It must come, for the law is immutable. Never let your senses dictate your faith. Faith looks beyond appearances. Faith sees the invisible and claims it as already done. As you drift toward sleep, refuse to be hypnotized by current conditions. See beyond them. Feel beyond them. Affirm beyond them. Affirm beyond them. Say it now. I live not by appearances but by divine truth. My subconscious accepts only harmony, abundance, and peace. The outer world must conform to the inner decree. Emotion is the fuel that drives the engine of creation. Cold words are like dead seeds. They carry no life. But words charged with faith, joy, and expectancy are alive with creative power. When you speak your affirmations, let them be alive. Feel them with your whole being. Let your body relax into their reality. Let your heart beat with their truth. Let your breath carry their assurance. This is how you impress the subconscious, not with shallow recitation, but with living conviction. Say it now with emotion. I am alive with the wealth of the infinite. I am radiant with the health of the divine. I am filled with the peace of God. These words are not empty. They are spirit. They are life. They are seeds already sprouting in the soil of your mind. Your subconscious mind contains infinite intelligence. It knows how to heal your body, how to prosper your affairs, how to guide your steps. When you give it the right instructions, it draws on resources beyond human comprehension. It orchestrates events, arranges encounters, inspires ideas, and opens doors. You do not need to force the path. You need only to impress the end and trust the way. Imagine now that every cell of your body is filled with divine light, every pathway of your life guided by divine wisdom, every venture of your affairs supported by divine abundance. Say it quietly. Infinite intelligence within me knows the way, shows the way, and clears the way. My subconscious carries out these instructions now. Rest in this assurance, for what you have commanded is already in motion. Consider this. The subconscious is like a faithful mirror. It reflects not what you desire vaguely, but what you truly believe. If you look into a mirror and frown, the reflection frowns. If you smile, the reflection smiles. You do not plead with the mirror to change. You change yourself, and the mirror follows. So too with the subconscious. If you desire a different reflection in your life, you must change the inner image. Tonight you are choosing to smile inwardly, to hold images of joy, success, and freedom. And as surely as the mirror reflects, your life will reflect these inner images. Affirm it with certainty. As within, so without. As I think and feel within, so my life becomes. My subconscious reflects only beauty, truth, and abundance. Now let us enter into the sacred practice of assumption. To assume is to accept the desired state as though it were already fact. The subconscious does not know the difference between imagination and reality. When you assume the wish fulfilled, the subconscious accepts it as present reality and begins to shape conditions accordingly. Tonight you assume abundance. Tonight you assume health. Tonight you assume love, not as something distant but as something already yours. Feel it now. Let the joy of fulfillment flood your being. Whisper it as you rest. I assume the wealth of the infinite. I assume the health of the divine. I assume the peace of God. My subconscious accepts these assumptions and expresses them as fact. Sleep in that assurance, for assumption is the royal road to manifestation. Before you surrender fully to the depths of rest, let one affirmation be your final imprint upon the subconscious. I am the gardener of my soul. I plant only the seeds of love, abundance, and truth, and my subconscious expresses them in perfect order. I am strong, I am free, I am at peace. The infinite within me has accepted these truths, and they are already my reality. Rest now in peace, for the harvest is certain, and tomorrow you will awaken to the first light of its unfolding. There is a sacred power in the moment before sleep, a stillness where the conscious mind grows quiet and the subconscious stands open like a vast field awaiting the sower. What you impress in this hour is magnified, for the mind is more receptive when the senses withdraw. You have spent the day in the outer world, where thoughts scatter and voices compete. But now you stand before the inner sanctuary, where every word, every image, every emotion falls like seed into fertile ground. This is why you must guard carefully what you allow into your mind at night. For the last thought you carry into sleep is the first instruction your subconscious will work upon as you rest, and it will continue its labor through every hour of the night until it has set in motion the forces of your tomorrow. The subconscious mind is impartial and tireless. It does not stop to question whether what you impress is desirable or destructive, true or false. It accepts without argument, and it expresses without hesitation. If you sow fear, it will build fear. If you sow harmony, it will build harmony. If you sow resentment, it will weave entanglements of conflict. But if you sow peace, it will construct conditions of peace in your body, in your affairs, in your environment. This is not philosophy, it is law. Just as the soil will not resist the seed, but will bring forth after its kind, so too the subconscious brings forth after the kind of thought impressed upon it. Tonight you choose to sow only the seeds of life. You choose to impress only abundance, peace, and divine order, and you can rest in the certainty that these seeds will bear their rightful fruit. Consider the nature of suggestion. Every suggestion accepted by the subconscious becomes a command it carries out faithfully. The conscious mind is the watchman at the gate, deciding what to admit. But when you are drowsy, relaxed, or on the edge of sleep, the watchman grows less alert, and the subconscious accepts impressions more readily. That is why suggestion at this hour is powerful. Negative suggestions, if allowed in, can take root and grow into weeds. But positive suggestions spoken with conviction can transform the landscape of your life. Tonight speak only life-giving words. Whisper them with reverence. I am whole, I am abundant, I am free. My subconscious has accepted this, and it expresses only good. These words are not empty sounds. They are living forces. They are commands etched into the silent depths of your being, and they will not fail. The subconscious mind is also creative. It draws upon infinite intelligence, arranging people, circumstances, and events in ways your conscious mind could never predict. It is the silent architect, the unseen engineer, the invisible conductor of your destiny. You may not understand how your prayer will be answered, how your desire will manifest, how your condition will change, but the subconscious knows. It is connected to the infinite wisdom that governs all creation, and it always finds the perfect channel. Your task is not to worry about the method. Your task is only to impress the end result with faith. Tonight you affirm the end, and you release the how. Whisper it now. I trust the infinite intelligence within. I impress my desire upon my subconscious, and it is expressed in divine order. In this trust lies your freedom, for the burden of method is lifted, and the power of fulfillment is assured. Understand, too, that every cell of your body listens to the subconscious. Your heart beats, your lungs breathe, your blood flows, all under its direction. When you impress health upon your subconscious, the body obeys. When you affirm peace, the nervous system relaxes. When you speak strength, the muscles respond. You are not a victim of chance biology. You are the captain issuing orders to the silent crew of your body. Give it commands of harmony, and it will carry them out. Say it now with authority. Every cell of my body is filled with divine health. My subconscious restores me perfectly. My mind is at peace. My body is strong. My spirit is free. These words, when accepted by the subconscious, become life itself, renewing you in the night as you sleep. You may wonder why repetition is necessary. It is because repetition engraves the pattern deeper. A single thought may pass quickly, but repeated thoughts carve grooves into the subconscious until they become automatic responses. Just as water drop by drop wears away stone, so repeated affirmations shape the inner mind. That is why tonight you will not speak once and forget, but you will speak until your heart feels it, until the words echo naturally, until the subconscious accepts them as truth. Repeat gently, I am guided, I am loved, I am prosperous. My subconscious has accepted this, and it is now expressed in my life. With every repetition, the impression grows stronger, and soon the expression will be undeniable. Let us return to the great law. What is impressed is expressed. This is the unchanging principle that governs the relationship between your inner world and your outer world. Never doubt it, never waver from it. For doubt is also an impression, and it will be expressed as delay. Faith is the only attitude that accelerates manifestation. So tonight you impress only faith, only certainty, only conviction that your good is already here. Say it with calm strength. I live in the assurance that all I desire is already mine. My subconscious accepts this truth and expresses it in perfect ways. With this assurance you release worry. With this faith you surrender fear. With this conviction you rest in peace. Before you close your eyes fully, engrave one more affirmation into your soul. Let it be the last thought carried into the silent night, the final instruction to your subconscious as it labors for you while you rest. Say it softly, but say it with absolute belief. I am whole, I am abundant, I am free. Divine love surrounds me, divine wisdom guides me, divine power flows through me. My subconscious has accepted this, and it is done. Sleep now in peace, for the law is at work, and the harvest is certain. The deeper you go into rest, the more open your subconscious becomes, and the more powerfully it responds to the impressions you give it. Tonight you are not drifting aimlessly into sleep. You are walking into the sanctuary of creation. Every thought is a key that unlocks future conditions. Every image is a blueprint. Every affirmation is a command. You are the master architect, and your subconscious is the faithful builder. It does not resist, it does not argue, it only accepts. What you impress, it expresses. This truth is the golden law that governs your destiny, and tonight you use it consciously, deliberately, and reverently to shape a life of abundance, harmony, and strength. Your subconscious mind is infinite in resources. It holds the wisdom to heal every wound, the intelligence to solve every problem, the creativity to open every door. When you call upon it, It responds with unfailing precision. It may whisper to you in dreams. It may stir you with sudden inspiration. It may arrange meetings, opportunities, and coincidences so perfectly that you recognize the hand of divine order at work. Do not concern yourself with how it will act. Simply trust that it will. When you impress your desire upon it with faith, it sets the machinery of the unseen into motion, and the results will come in the right way at the right time. Whisper now with calm conviction, I release the how, and I trust the law. My subconscious knows the way, and it never fails. Every affirmation you speak is like a seed wrapped in emotion. Without emotion, it is a dry seed tossed upon hard ground. But with emotion, faith, joy, expectancy, it becomes a living seed planted in fertile soil. Tonight let every word be charged with feeling. Feel wealth as though it already surrounds you. Feel health as though it already pulses in your veins. Feel peace as though it already governs your affairs. When you feel, you impress. When you impress, you express. Say now with deep conviction, I feel the wealth of the infinite flowing through me. I feel the health of the divine strengthening every part of me. I feel the peace of God surrounding me. These feelings are your passport to tomorrow's blessings, for they are the language the subconscious obeys. Release every trace of resistance, for resistance blocks the flow. The river of life is always moving, always seeking to pour into you abundance, love, wisdom, and joy. But if you dam it with fear or doubt, you prevent its current from reaching you. Tonight you open the gates fully. You allow the river to flow without hindrance. You let go of every fear, every doubt, every anxious grasping for control. Say it quietly now, I release resistance. I open to divine flow. Abundance moves freely through me. Love flows freely through me. Peace flows freely through me. With these words you clear the channel, and the river of life rushes in, carrying with it all that belongs to you by divine right. Understand that your subconscious mind is the faithful servant of the words you give it last before sleep. If those words are worry, it will work to create more worry. If those words are peace, it will weave peace into your tomorrow. If those words are abundance, it will set in motion the conditions for prosperity. The last thought of the day becomes the first seed of tomorrow. Choose wisely. As you rest now, impress only the best. Whisper softly, my last thought tonight is peace. My last thought tonight is abundance. My last thought tonight is love. My subconscious accepts these final commands and expresses them in perfect ways. This is the law, and you are using it as the masters of old once did. Do not underestimate the power of imagination. It is not childish fancy. It is the creative faculty through which the subconscious receives its orders. Picture now the life you desire. See yourself walking in strength, moving with confidence, speaking with clarity. See your home filled with beauty, your relationships filled with harmony, your affairs overflowing with prosperity. Do not merely watch this picture as an observer. Step into it, live it in your imagination. Breathe it, feel it, embody it. For the subconscious does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically real. It will accept the picture as truth and work to reproduce it in your outer life. Tonight, imagination is your brush, and the subconscious is your canvas. Paint boldly, and tomorrow you will see the strokes become reality. You are not a beggar in a universe of scarcity. You are a child of the infinite, heir to all that is good, all that is beautiful, all that is abundant. Your subconscious contains the keys to this inheritance. When you affirm, when you imagine, when you believe, you unlock the treasure house within. Say it now with dignity and strength. I am heir to divine abundance. I claim my inheritance now. Wealth flows to me. Health flows to me. Love flows to me. Peace flows to me. My subconscious has accepted this truth, and it is expressed in divine order. These words are not idle, they are decrees, and as decrees they must be fulfilled. As you drift toward deeper rest, remember the simplicity of the law. Believe, and it is done unto you. Not tomorrow, not one day, but now. The moment the subconscious accepts the impression, it is set into motion. Do not wait for proof to believe. Believe, and proof will follow. This is the secret that has lifted men and women from despair to triumph, from poverty to wealth, from sickness to health. It is not chance, it is not fate, it is law. Believe it now, and you will see it. Say it with assurance. I believe, and it is done. My subconscious has accepted this, and I rest in peace. So tonight, before you let go fully into sleep, engrave this affirmation into your mind as the seal upon all you have impressed I am heir to infinite riches. I live in divine health. I walk in perfect peace. My subconscious has accepted this, and it is already expressed in my life. Rest now in this assurance, for the law is working even as you dream, and your tomorrow is already being shaped by the truths you have planted tonight. There is a timeless truth that must never leave your awareness. Your subconscious mind is always listening. It hears every word you speak. It records every image you dwell upon. It responds to every belief you hold with emotion. It does not rest when you sleep. It does not pause in its work. It is ceaselessly creating, ceaselessly shaping, ceaselessly arranging your outer world according to the inner pattern impressed upon it. This is why the direction of your life is not dictated by luck, nor by the whims of other people, but by the inner instructions you continually give your deeper self. And tonight, as you lie between waking and sleeping, you are in the perfect state to give those instructions deliberately. You are the author, and your subconscious is the faithful scribe. What you decree in this sacred hour will become the chapters of your tomorrow. Every condition in your life is the reflection of a seed once planted in thought. The body you carry, the health you enjoy, the relationships you attract, the wealth you command, all of it is the harvest of past impressions. If you desire a new harvest, you must plant new seeds. Do not lament what has been, for the past was only the outpicturing of old patterns. The future is pliable clay, ready to be molded by the thoughts you impress tonight. That is why you must decide firmly what you desire and present it to your subconscious with calm authority, not as a beggar asking timidly, but as a master declaring truth. Say now with unwavering assurance, I am the master of my mind. I sow seeds of health, wealth, peace, and love. My subconscious accepts these seeds, and they grow into my reality. Let this conviction be etched into your very soul. Understand the power of expectancy. What you expect, you invite. Expectation is faith in action, belief clothed in emotion. If you go to sleep expecting failure, your subconscious prepares the stage for failure. If you go to sleep expecting success, your subconscious orchestrates success. The subconscious does not deliver what you merely wish for. It delivers what you truly expect. Therefore, tonight you expect only good. You expect prosperity. You expect healing. You expect harmony. You expect guidance. Whisper it inwardly. I expect abundance. I expect strength. I expect divine wisdom in every decision. My subconscious accepts this expectancy and brings it to pass. The more vividly you expect, the more swiftly it is expressed, for expectancy is the magnet that draws conditions into your life. Remember, too, that your subconscious is impressionable to images. It speaks in pictures, symbols, and emotions more than in words. This is why imagination is the royal road to transformation. Tonight, let your imagination be disciplined and deliberate. Do not let it wander into shadows of fear or memories of defeat. Guide it like a skilled artist guiding a brush. Paint scenes of victory, joy, and fulfillment upon the canvas of your mind. See yourself walking with dignity, your head high, your heart radiant. See your home filled with beauty and order. See your affairs flowing smoothly. Feel the reality of these images as if they were happening now. For the subconscious, time is irrelevant. What you feel vividly in this moment, it treats as present reality and begins to manifest accordingly. You are not pretending, you are creating. Release the burden of doubt. Doubt is the poison of the subconscious, the silent saboteur of faith. The moment you say, I hope it happens, you introduce uncertainty, and the subconscious, hearing uncertainty, produces delay. Replace every doubtful whisper with the language of certainty. Say not, I hope, but it is so. Say not one day, but now. The law of life is the law of belief, and belief always speaks in the present. Say now with calm authority, it is so. My subconscious has accepted it, and it is now expressed. The more you affirm in the present tense, the more power you give the subconscious to produce results. Believe it now, and the evidence will follow, for life always confirms the inner decree. Every suggestion you give yourself tonight is a command to the silent builder within. Do not leave the builder without direction, for it will construct whatever impressions are strongest. If the strongest impression is fear, it will construct conditions of fear. If the strongest impression is faith, it will construct conditions of faith. Therefore, impress deliberately. Speak to your subconscious as a king speaks to a loyal servant, with authority but also with gratitude. Say, my subconscious, you are my faithful servant. You accept my instructions with perfect obedience. You now build a life of abundance, health, love, and success for me. You shape my environment according to divine law. You express all that is good, true, and beautiful. Let these words sink deep, and the servant will not fail to obey. Do not resist or struggle as you plant these truths. Strain is a sign of doubt, and doubt weakens the impression. Instead, rest as one who knows the harvest is certain. The farmer does not dig up the seed each night to check its growth. He trusts the law of the soil. So too must you trust the law of the subconscious. Once you have impressed the seed with faith, let it be. Rest in assurance. Let go of the how, the when, the where. That is the domain of infinite intelligence, not yours. Your role is only to plant. The law will do the rest. Whisper it with peace. I plant in faith, and I rest in certainty. My subconscious grows the seed and expresses it in perfect ways. In this surrender lies your true power, for surrender allows the infinite to move unhindered through you. Even now, as you listen, the impressions you have spoken are being etched into the silent depths of your mind. The subconscious has accepted them, and it is already weaving circumstances, drawing resources, and shaping conditions to fulfill them. You may not see it yet, but it is in motion. Tomorrow and the days after will reveal signs and alignments that prove the law at work. This is why you must hold steady in faith and not contradict the seed with words of fear when you awaken. Speak only truth. Affirm only good. Trust the process, and watch as the invisible becomes visible before your very eyes. And so, before you surrender fully to sleep, seal tonight's impressions with one final affirmation. Let it echo until it carries you into dreams. I expect only good. I believe only truth. I imagine only beauty. My subconscious accepts these impressions and expresses them in divine order. I rest in peace, knowing the harvest is certain. Sleep now, for the law is faithful, and it cannot fail. There is a river of life flowing within you, steady and inexhaustible, and it carries with it health, abundance, peace, and wisdom. Most people dam this river with fear, resentment, or doubt, and then wonder why their lives feel dry and barren. But tonight you remove every obstruction. You open the gates and allow the current of divine life to flow freely through your subconscious. As you rest, the river moves in silence, nourishing every cell, renewing every condition, arranging every detail of your destiny. You need not struggle to direct its course. You need only open to its flow. Whisper it gently. The river of life flows through me without obstruction. My subconscious accepts this flow and expresses it as health, wealth, and peace. Rest in this assurance, for the river never ceases, and it never fails. Your subconscious is not limited by logic or reason. It is connected to infinite intelligence, which holds solutions beyond your imagination. What seems impossible to your conscious mind is simple to the deeper mind. You may not know the answer to your problem, but your subconscious does. You may not see the path to your desire, but your subconscious can carve one. That is why you must present the end result and trust the process. Do not dictate how it must come. Simply affirm what you desire and rest, knowing the wisdom within will find the way. Say now with quiet conviction, infinite intelligence within me knows the perfect solution. My subconscious carries it out now in divine order. These words are not requests, they are decrees, and decrees impressed with faith must be fulfilled. Consider the body you inhabit. Every beat of your heart, every rhythm of your breath, every process of healing and renewal is directed by the subconscious mind. Even as you sleep, it regulates your body with flawless precision. But it also responds to your beliefs about health. If you fear disease, it manifests symptoms. If you affirm health, it strengthens and restores. You are not helpless in the face of your body. You are its commander. Tonight you issue only commands of life. Whisper with authority. Every cell in my body is radiant with divine health. My subconscious restores me perfectly, filling me with strength, vitality, and peace. Let these words penetrate, for the body will obey the subconscious, and the subconscious obeys you. Do not allow memories of past failures to poison the soil of your mind. The past exists only as a shadow in your memory, and your subconscious responds only to what you impress now. If you replay old defeats, you impress them anew and reap them again. If you release them and affirm truth, you break the cycle and create a new destiny. Tonight you choose freedom from the past. Say with calm certainty, I release all past failures. I release all past pain. My subconscious accepts only new impressions of victory, abundance, and peace. These words close the door on yesterday and open the door to tomorrow's blessings. Let the past dissolve and rest in the fresh soil of the present moment, where all things are possible. Expectation remains the golden key. Life delivers not what you desire faintly, but what you expect firmly. If you go to sleep expecting nothing, nothing will arrive. If you go to sleep expecting abundance, abundance will begin to unfold. Your subconscious listens to your expectations like a faithful servant awaiting orders. Give it noble expectations, and it will respond with noble results. Whisper now with conviction, I expect success. I expect health. I expect love. I expect abundance. My subconscious accepts these expectations and fulfills them in perfect ways. This is not arrogance, it is alignment with the truth that the infinite within you is abundant and generous beyond measure. Expect boldly, and the universe will not disappoint. Imagination is your workshop of miracles. Tonight, close your inner eyes and picture the life you long for as though it were already here. See yourself walking in strength, speaking with clarity, surrounded by peace. See your home radiant with beauty, your relationships filled with love, your affairs overflowing with prosperity. Do not imagine as something distant. Imagine as though present now. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the relief of already possessing it. For the subconscious does not distinguish between vivid imagination and reality. When you feel it is real, it accepts it as real and begins to reproduce it in form. Tonight you are creating with your inner vision, and tomorrow you will see the outlines of that vision appearing in the world around you. Release every trace of anxiety about time. The conscious mind is impatient, always asking when, but the subconscious works outside of time. Once it accepts the impression, the fulfillment is assured, and it will appear at the right moment in the right way. Worry about timing is itself a form of doubt, and doubt weakens the seed. Tonight you let go of time and rest in timeless faith. Whisper softly, my good comes to me in perfect time and perfect order. My subconscious arranges all things in harmony. With these words you surrender the when and the how, and in surrender you allow infinite intelligence to act freely. Even now the impressions you have spoken are being etched upon the silent mind within. They are becoming living forces, invisible currents shaping your destiny. Tomorrow you may notice subtle shifts, an idea, an encounter, a door opening, and these are the first fruits of the seeds planted tonight. Do not dismiss them. Recognize them as signs that the law is working, that your subconscious has heard and obeyed. Stay faithful, and the harvest will grow in clarity and abundance until it fills every area of your life. Seal this night's work with one final affirmation before you surrender fully to sleep. Say it with reverence and certainty. The river of life flows freely through me. My subconscious accepts only health, abundance, and peace, and it expresses them in perfect order. I rest now in faith, knowing the law is certain, and my tomorrow is already blessed. Sleep deeply in this assurance, for what you have impressed is already unfolding, and it cannot fail. There is a silence deeper than words, and in this silence your subconscious mind is shaping the reality you shall awaken to. All the affirmations you have spoken, all the images you have held, all the emotions you have impressed have been received by the inner mind that never sleeps. It is at work even now, constructing the unseen framework of your tomorrow, arranging events, guiding encounters, and planting opportunities where once there were none. You may rest in peace, for the law is certain. What is impressed will be expressed. Nothing can hinder it. Nothing can overturn it. Divine order is the rhythm of your life, and your subconscious is its instrument. As you drift further into rest, realize that you are not alone. The infinite presence within you, the life principle itself, is your companion and your guide. It beats your heart, heals your wounds, inspires your thoughts, and directs your path. You are never abandoned, never cut off, never powerless. The very power that spins the stars dwells within you, and it expresses through the subconscious mind. To align with this power is to live in harmony, peace, and abundance. Say it softly now. The infinite presence within me guides me in all ways. My subconscious accepts this truth, and it is expressed in my life. Rest in the safety of this companionship, for divine love surrounds you and divine wisdom directs you always. Your outer world will soon reflect the inner decrees you have spoken tonight. It may appear gradually or suddenly, but appear it must, for the subconscious does not tire, does not forget, does not fail. It works tirelessly, bringing forth the harvest of every seed. If you have impressed love, you shall see love. If you have impressed health, you shall see health. If you have impressed wealth, you shall see wealth. There is no delay except the delay you cause by doubt. But tonight you have sown only faith, only truth, only harmony. Therefore your harvest is certain. Whisper it as assurance. I live in the harvest of peace, abundance, and divine order. My subconscious accepts this, and it is now my reality. Do not measure your future by the shadows of the past. The past has no hold upon you unless you renew it with memory and fear. Tonight you have released it. Tonight you have written a new chapter, one not dictated by yesterday's failures, but by today's faith. The subconscious accepts the new impression without hesitation, and it builds anew regardless of what has gone before. Your tomorrow is not bound by your yesterday. It is bound only by what you impress now. And tonight you have impressed light, truth, and abundance. Rest in that freedom, for the chains of the past are broken, and your path ahead is open. Every affirmation you have spoken has been more than words. It has been life, for the subconscious does not respond to idle phrases. It responds to conviction, and you have given it conviction, repetition, and faith. That is why the law must work for you as it has worked for countless men and women across centuries. This is not chance. This is not wishful thinking. This is law, and the law is faithful. Say with certainty, the law of life is the law of belief. I believe only in harmony, abundance, and truth, and these are now expressed in my life. Let this be the anchor of your soul as you surrender fully to the rest that restores, renews, and heals. You may dream tonight, and those dreams may be symbols of the work your subconscious is doing. Do not fear them or dismiss them. They are the language of the inner mind, revealing that it is busy on your behalf. Even in dreams, the seeds are being watered, the soil is being tended, the harvest is growing. You need not decipher every symbol. You need only trust that all is working together for your good. Rest in the knowledge that infinite intelligence directs the outcome, and it is always perfect. There is nothing left to strive for in this moment, for the work is already done. You have planted the seeds, you have impressed the truth, you have aligned with divine order. Now your only task is to rest. Rest deeply, rest peacefully, rest in the assurance that tomorrow you will awaken, renewed, strengthened, and guided. Your subconscious has accepted your commands, and it is at work in silence, creating conditions of joy, abundance, and peace. Let go of every last effort and sink into effortless trust. So let this final affirmation seal all that has been spoken tonight. Whisper it as you fall into sleep. I let go, and I let God. I rest in divine order. My subconscious accepts only health, peace, love, and abundance, and expresses them in perfect ways. I sleep in safety, I sleep in peace, I sleep in the assurance of infinite good. And as surely as the sun rises, I will awaken to the blessings I have impressed tonight. Sleep now, for the law has heard and the harvest is certain. What is wealth? To most men and women it is a mystery, an elusive treasure they chase in the outer world, never realizing that the key has always been hidden within themselves. The mind, steeped in doubt and fear, looks outward and says, if only I had more money, if only I had better circumstances, if only luck would come my way. Yet the deeper truth is this: wealth is not created from the outside in, but from the inside out. Wealth is first a vibration, an impression planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. And once it takes root there, it expresses itself as abundance, as opportunities, as doors opening that were once closed. The law of life is the law of belief. Say it to yourself. Write it upon the tablet of your heart. The law of life is the law of belief. As you believe, so shall it be done unto you. When you pray, you are not begging a distant God to drop coins from the sky. Prayer is not pleading, it is aligning. It is the scientific act of impressing a picture of wealth, harmony, and divine provision upon your subconscious mind until it accepts it as true. Once impressed, it must be expressed. You cannot escape this law any more than you can escape the law of gravity. Your subconscious does not argue, it does not reason, it simply acts upon the command given by your conscious mind. If you say, I am poor, your subconscious will faithfully create conditions that reflect poverty. If you say, I am rich in spirit and in supply, then that becomes the blueprint it follows. So I tell you now, begin to choose your words with care. Your every thought is a prayer, your every sentence is a decree. The world you inhabit tomorrow is being shaped by the words you speak today. There was once a young man consumed with fear of poverty. Every day he repeated the same inner lament: I never have enough. Nothing works out for me. His subconscious, obedient and loyal, manufactured circumstances that mirrored his belief. He lost jobs, he quarreled with employers. He found bills piling up faster than opportunities. But one day he shifted. Instead of repeating the old poison, he began to affirm a new truth. I am one with the infinite riches of my subconscious mind. Opportunities flow to me in divine order. Money is drawn to me as the rivers are drawn to the sea. He wrote these words. He repeated them morning and night, and he felt them as though they were already true. Within weeks he was offered a position that not only met his needs but opened doors he never thought possible. He learned what I now teach you. What is impressed is expressed. Remember it. Write it down. Say it out loud. What is impressed is expressed. Wealth is not a number in your bank account. Wealth is a state of consciousness. It is harmony with the flow of life, alignment with the river of divine abundance that is always moving, always available. Picture a hose filled with water, ready to nourish the garden. If you place your foot upon the hose, the flow is blocked. The water has not ceased to exist, but your pressure has obstructed it. So too with wealth. Resentment, fear, jealousy, and doubt are the foot upon the hose. Remove them, and the current of divine prosperity rushes freely into your life. Remove them, and you discover that abundance was never scarce, only obstructed. So I urge you now, release resentment, release envy, release the thought that wealth is reserved for others, and not for you. Let the flow begin. Say within yourself, I am a river of life. I am a channel of wealth. I am open and receptive to infinite supply. The great secret of prayer is to think from the end, not toward it. Do not pray as a beggar who hopes that maybe someday something will happen. Pray as the master architect who has already built the structure in imagination and now watches it unfold in the visible world. Suppose you desire financial freedom. Do not say, someday I will be free. Instead, close your eyes, still your mind, and see yourself already free, walking into your home paid in full, blessing others with your generosity, smiling in peace because debts are no longer chains but memories. Feel it real. Live in that state until your subconscious accepts it as the only reality. Then the unseen forces move. Circumstances rearrange themselves. People appear. Opportunities emerge. This is not superstition, it is law, the law of subconscious belief. And I invite you now to say it with me, to ingrain it. The law of life is the law of belief. You must also understand the sacred power of I am. Whatever you attach to I am, you become. Say, I am poor, and poverty follows. Say, I am wealthy in every area of my life, and that becomes the seed planted in the soil of your mind. Your subconscious does not distinguish between true or false. It only acts upon what it is told with feeling. So attach only what you wish to see manifest. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Let your subconscious drink deeply of these affirmations. Each night as you drift into sleep, whisper the words, I am prosperous. I am guided by infinite wisdom. I am supplied in abundance, pressed down, shaken together and running over. Let these words sink in, for in that drowsy state your conscious guard is lowered, and the subconscious absorbs the command like fertile earth receiving the seed. When fear and doubt rise, and they will, do not finish the negative sentence. If the thought arises, I can't pay this bill, immediately replace it with, infinite intelligence supplies me with all I need at every moment. Divine order is at work. Never allow the negative seed to complete itself, for what is impressed is expressed. Reverse it at once. This is prayer in action, the prayer of vigilance, the prayer of guardianship over your own mind. You are the watchman at the gate of your subconscious. Stand firm. Choose life. Choose wealth. Choose abundance. The world cannot dictate your inner speech unless you consent. So consent to prosperity, not lack. Consent to joy, not despair. Consent to divine supply, not limitation. It is done unto you as you believe. Do not make the mistake of thinking you must manipulate others to become wealthy. There is no one to change but yourself. If you change your inner belief, if you saturate your subconscious with images of prosperity and security, the outer world reshapes itself accordingly. The businessman who fears competition attracts loss. The one who blesses his rivals and affirms that divine supply is limitless prospers beyond expectation. Life mirrors your inner state. Do not try to force the mirror. Change the face you show to it. Change the belief you carry within. Then the reflection cannot help but follow. Your environment, your finances, your opportunities are the mirror of your dominant thoughts. So choose wisely, plant richly, cultivate with faith and joy, and your harvest will be abundant. I want you now to do more than listen. I want you to participate. Take a piece of paper. Write upon it these words, I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Say it aloud. Feel it in your chest. Let your subconscious hear it. Let it record it. Let it begin to act upon it. For you are a channel of the infinite. The riches you seek are not out there. They are waiting within. ready to flow outward as soon as you give the command. So let the command be bold. Let it be filled with faith. Let it be consistent. And as you walk from this moment, carry it with you. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Do you realize that every coin, every opportunity, every connection in your life is simply an outer shadow of an inner conviction? Wealth is not something you chase. It is something you magnetize. A magnet does not strain to attract iron. It simply is, and by being it draws. In the same way, when you accept in your subconscious the belief that you are supplied, you cannot help but draw to yourself money, ideas, and people who match that vibration. This is why men who brood on scarcity find themselves surrounded by it, while those who believe they are heirs to divine abundance walk into rooms and see doors opening where others see only walls. The mind you cultivate is the magnet you carry. If you desire wealth, do not begin by running after it. Begin by convincing yourself inwardly that it is already yours. You may protest, but my bank account is empty, my debts are heavy, my circumstances are against me. Yes, that may be the appearance, but appearances are never final. The subconscious mind does not work by appearances. It works by impressions. The moment you impress upon it the image of financial freedom, it sets to work like a silent engine, rearranging the circumstances of your life. If you hold to the image with persistence and faith, the conditions must follow, because every condition is an effect, and every thought is a cause. So do not be deceived by the visible. Hold fast to the invisible. Say to yourself, though I see lack before me, I choose to believe in abundance within me. Though the world may say no, infinite intelligence whispers yes. Though the doors seem closed, my faith is the key that opens them. A woman once came to me in despair. Her bills exceeded her income, and she lived each day in dread of the next. I told her not to pray for money as if it were outside her, but to pray for recognition of the source within her. Each night before sleep, I instructed her to repeat, God's wealth flows freely in my life. I am supplied at every moment. Divine order governs all my affairs. At first she did it mechanically, but over time the words sank deep into her subconscious. Within a month, unexpected checks began arriving. Opportunities for part-time work appeared, and relatives offered assistance without her asking. The outer changed because the inner shifted, and when the inner shifts, the universe obeys. Let her story remind you, never pray as a beggar, always pray as a creator. Consider the farmer. He does not plant seeds today and dig them up tomorrow to see if they are growing. He plants, he waters, he trusts. Your subconscious mind is the soil of your life. Every thought you impress upon it is a seed. Do not sabotage yourself by planting seeds of abundance one day and digging them up with doubt the next. Plant consistently. Water with affirmations. Shield the soil from weeds of fear. Then wait with expectancy, for the harvest will come in divine order. This is the law of cause and effect. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Do not treat this as poetry. Treat it as law. And I urge you now to say it with me and write it upon your heart. I sow seeds of wealth, and I reap a harvest of abundance. Another man I knew was an engineer who constantly complained of obstacles. Every project he touched was plagued with delays and failures. He came to me weary, asking what he was doing wrong. I asked him, what words do you feed your mind? He admitted that every morning he began with the thought, nothing ever works out for me. That confession was the blueprint. His subconscious built according to the plan he provided. I told him to reverse it, to begin each day with the words, infinite intelligence guides me. Every project unfolds in divine order. What I start is completed successfully. He resisted at first, but soon he surrendered to the practice. Within months he completed a project that won him recognition and promotion. The outer followed the inner. Remember, your subconscious cannot resist, it only executes. Give it a divine plan, and it will construct it with precision. There is no greater stumbling block to wealth than resentment, envy another man's riches, and you have shut the door to your own. Why? Because resentment is a declaration to your subconscious that you are separate from the flow of abundance, that others have it but you do not. The subconscious then confirms this belief by creating more lack. Instead, bless the wealth you see. Rejoice in the prosperity of others. Affirm silently, what God has done for others, He is now doing for me. In this way you dissolve envy and plant the seed of shared abundance. A river does not resent the streams that flow beside it. It simply moves in its course, confident that its source is infinite. Become like that river, and you will find envy replaced with expectancy. Prayer, when done correctly, is not repetition of empty words, but saturation of the subconscious with a living image. If you desire wealth, close your eyes and imagine yourself already in possession of it. See the home you live in. Hear the laughter of your family free from worry. Feel the peace of financial security. Do not strain. Simply relax and let the image form. Then repeat an affirmation that seals it. I am a channel for divine riches. Wealth flows to me in avalanches of abundance. Say it with feeling, for it is the feeling that impresses. Repeat it often, for repetition engraves it deeper. Trust it, for trust waters the seed. And know that when the subconscious accepts it, nothing can prevent its expression. Do not be surprised if the answer comes in unexpected ways. The subconscious uses whatever channels are open. Sometimes it is a new idea. Sometimes a friend offers an opportunity. Sometimes an old door suddenly swings wide. Do not limit the infinite by dictating the method. Simply know the end is secure, and let the how take care of itself. The moment you decide wealth is already yours, you will begin to see coincidences, synchronicities, and sudden breaks that all point in one direction: manifestation. So let go of control, but hold fast to belief. The law cannot fail you. As within, so without. Let us seal this part with affirmation. Take your paper and write these words. I sow thoughts of abundance, and I reap wealth in divine order. Speak it aloud. Feel its truth. Repeat it until it imprints itself upon your subconscious. The seed is planted. The harvest is certain. The law cannot fail, because the law of life is the law of belief. And as you believe, so shall it be done unto you. There is a profound truth that many overlook. Money itself is neutral, but your attitude toward it determines whether it blesses or curses your life. If you secretly despise money, if you call it evil or think it corrupts all who touch it, you repel it. The subconscious mind hears that confession and interprets it as a command to keep wealth far from you. But if you honor money as a tool of divine supply, if you see it as God's goods circulating in your life, then it becomes a servant, not a master. It is written that the love of money is the root of all evil, but not money itself. Money is like water. It carries whatever you pour into it. Use it to bless and it multiplies blessings. Use it in fear and it multiplies fear. So I tell you, purify your attitude toward wealth. See it as divine substance flowing through you, never owned but always entrusted. A businessman once told me he could never hold on to money. As soon as he earned it, it slipped through his fingers. When I probed deeper, he admitted that as a child he heard constant quarrels between his parents about money. Subconsciously, he associated money with conflict, guilt, and loss. His subconscious, loyal to its early programming, ensured that money would flee from him to protect him from imagined pain. I taught him to recondition his subconscious with a new belief. Money is God's good in action. I use it wisely, constructively, and judiciously. Money is constantly circulating in my life, and I rejoice in its flow. He repeated this daily, visualizing himself paying bills with ease, blessing others with generosity, and investing wisely. Gradually, the pattern shifted. He began to save. Opportunities to invest appeared, and his finances stabilized. Remember, wealth is not a mystery. It is the natural reflection of your dominant beliefs. Your subconscious mind does not resist the truth once it is impressed upon it. But you must feed it the truth consistently, just as you would feed your body daily. Do not affirm prosperity once and then starve your mind with hours of fear and resentment. Just as one meal cannot sustain you for life, one affirmation cannot override years of conditioning unless it is repeated, felt, and trusted. Begin and end each day with affirmations of abundance. Let them be the first words you speak in the morning and the last you whisper before sleep. This is prayer in its highest form, not asking but affirming, not pleading but knowing. For to affirm with faith is to plant the seed and allow the law to bring it to harvest. Do not believe for a moment that you are limited by your current occupation, education, or social standing. Infinite intelligence knows no limitation. It can raise a man from obscurity to influence, from poverty to abundance, when that man dares to believe. You are not a victim of chance. You are a channel of divine power. The circumstances you face today are simply the reflection of the beliefs you held yesterday. Change your beliefs, and tomorrow changes with them. If you believe you are confined, your subconscious builds walls. If you believe you are free, your subconscious opens doors. So choose freedom now. Say within yourself, I am open and receptive to the guidance of infinite intelligence. Wealth, ideas, and opportunities flow to me in perfect sequence. And as you repeat these words, know that you are not creating the flow. You are aligning with the flow that has always been. When you think of wealth, do not merely think of money. Think of vitality in your body, harmony in your relationships, peace in your mind, creativity in your spirit. For wealth is wholeness. A man who piles up gold but has no joy is poor. A woman who earns millions but lives in fear is destitute. True wealth is balanced prosperity, abundance in every area of life. The subconscious mind does not discriminate between material and immaterial. It manifests according to the images impressed. So picture yourself not only with financial freedom, but with radiant health, loving relationships, inner serenity. See yourself as a complete being, lacking nothing. This image, once accepted by the subconscious, will externalize as true wealth. Money will come, but so will peace. Opportunities will arrive, but so will joy. That is the kind of wealth worth seeking. The law of belief demands participation. If you only listen and nod, you remain unchanged. But if you act, if you write, affirm, visualize, and repeat, you impress the law upon your being. Right now, take a sheet of paper. Write these words: I am guided by infinite intelligence. All that I need is supplied in divine order. Say it aloud. Say it with conviction. Let your subconscious hear and accept it. This is no idle ritual. This is the deliberate act of programming your inner mind. Just as a captain steers the ship by giving orders to the crew below deck, you steer your destiny by giving commands to your subconscious. The crew does not question, it obeys. So give it the right commands. Do not say, I can't afford it. Say, I am supplied in abundance. Do not say, I am unlucky. Say, I am guided and prospered in all my ways. Faith is not hoping that something may happen someday. Faith is knowing that it is already true in the invisible and trusting that it must appear in the visible. When you plant a seed, you do not beg it to grow. You trust the soil, the rain, the sun, and the law of life to bring forth the harvest. Faith is confidence in law. The subconscious mind is law, precise and impartial. It does not play favorites, it does not punish, it does not reward. It simply creates according to the pattern given. So give it the pattern of wealth, the pattern of abundance, the pattern of prosperity. Hold it in mind with calm conviction, and the law must act. It cannot fail, for it is law. And as you walk in faith, you will find that wealth begins to flow, not because you chased it, but because you aligned with it. Do not be discouraged if results do not appear immediately. A seed takes time to sprout. A flower takes time to bloom. The subconscious works in silence, unseen and unheard, but always working. When you pray, when you affirm, when you visualize, you are setting in motion forces that may not be visible to the eye, but are rearranging the tapestry of your life. Trust the process. Rest in the assurance that every repetition, every affirmation, every image is moving you closer to manifestation. The day will come when the invisible becomes visible, when what you once held only in thought appears in form. Until then, walk in gratitude as if it were already so. Gratitude is the perfume of faith. Gratitude seals the prayer with certainty. And so I leave you with this exercise. Tonight before sleep, repeat these words softly, letting them sink deep into your subconscious. I am a channel of infinite abundance. Wealth flows to me in divine order, blessing me and all whom I touch. Say it 7 times. Write it 3 times. Let it imprint upon your mind. For as you believe, so shall it be. The law is faithful, the law is unfailing, the law is at work even now. Align with it and you will see wealth rise within you and around you as naturally as the sun rises in the morning sky. The greatest illusion that keeps people trapped in lack is the belief that wealth is outside themselves, belonging only to others, dispensed by fate or withheld by chance. They look at those who prosper and say, they are lucky. They were born into opportunity. They had advantages I did not. Yet this is not truth, but shadow. The reality is that wealth begins not with chance, but with choice, not with inheritance, but with inner belief. The richest man alive without faith in himself will lose it all, while the poorest man who believes he is one with infinite supply will find opportunities rushing to him like rivers to the ocean. Life mirrors the conviction of your subconscious, not the accidents of circumstance. Change the conviction, and the circumstances must change with it. There was a young woman who came to me filled with bitterness. She worked tirelessly, yet felt unseen, unrecognized, and underpaid. Her resentment grew until it poisoned her thoughts. I told her plainly that no employer could truly rob her unless she consented to it in her subconscious. If she believed she was undervalued, life would reflect that belief through every person she met. She resisted at first, but gradually she began to affirm daily, I am worthy of wealth and recognition. Infinite intelligence raises me up in divine order. I prosper wherever I go. Within a short time, she received a new opportunity at double her salary, and her confidence blossomed. It was not magic, it was law. What she impressed upon her subconscious was expressed in her outer world, and what you impress will be expressed in yours. You must therefore see money as a servant, not a master. Many live in fear of it, chasing it, bowing to it, fretting over it, until money becomes their ruler. But wealth in its highest form is not slavery, it is freedom. Money is divine energy in circulation, a means by which the unseen becomes seen, the invisible becomes visible. Do not cling to it, for clinging suffocates flow. Do not despise it, for despising repels its presence. Instead, treat it with reverence. Bless it, use it wisely, and let it circulate. If you hoard in fear, it stagnates. If you spend with joy and wisdom, it multiplies. See every dollar as a seed. Plant it with intention, and it will return multiplied. Fear says, I must hold tightly, for there is not enough. Faith says, I release joyfully, for I live in an infinite supply. The subconscious is not impressed by idle wishes. It is moved by vivid images, strong feelings, and repeated affirmations. That is why visualization and prayer are so powerful. When you pray for wealth, do not recite empty words. See it, feel it, experience it in imagination until it becomes more real to you than the lack you see with your eyes. Let your prayer be a rehearsal of the future you have already claimed. If you desire to be free of debt, do not picture yourself bound by bills. Instead, see yourself writing checks with ease, receiving letters of paid in full, blessing your creditors with gratitude. Let the picture be soaked in feeling, for feeling is the language of the subconscious, and what it feels, it creates. And as you dwell upon this image nightly, you will discover that the subconscious goes to work to make it so. You may wonder why some pray for wealth and see no results. It is because they pray with their lips while their hearts repeat the opposite. Outwardly they say, God prospers me, but inwardly they mutter, I can't make it. Nothing ever works out. The subconscious does not hear the lips, it hears the heart. It hears the dominant thought and feeling, not the fleeting phrase. This is why consistency is vital. The farmer who plants 1 seed of corn and 100 seeds of thorns cannot expect a harvest of corn. So too the mind that plants 1 affirmation of abundance and 100 complaints of lack cannot expect prosperity. You must train yourself to become vigilant, guarding every thought, every word. If a negative arises, cancel it at once and replace it with the positive. Reverse it immediately and wonders will happen. Every thought is a prayer, every image a command. You cannot escape this truth. The subconscious does not sleep. It does not rest. It does not take holidays. It works day and night, ceaselessly creating according to the pattern impressed upon it. If you want wealth, you must therefore impress wealth continually. Speak it, write it, visualize it, feel it. Let it saturate your mind until it becomes the atmosphere of your being. Then wealth will cease to be something you chase. It will become something you radiate. And like iron to a magnet, people, opportunities, and resources will be drawn to you without effort. You will not need to force or manipulate, for the law of attraction is impersonal, infallible, and irresistible. There is also the law of forgiveness, and without it your wealth will be hindered. If you hold resentment, you tie yourself to poverty. Resentment is a chain that binds your mind to the very conditions you hate. But when you forgive, you release the chain, and the river of abundance flows again. A man once came to me with financial ruin pressing upon him. He had been cheated in business and could not let go of his anger. I told him that as long as he clung to resentment, he was affirming lack. But if he could forgive, he would open himself to prosperity. Reluctantly, he began to repeat, I release this man to God. I wish him well. Divine love dissolves everything unlike itself. As he did, his bitterness softened, and in time new opportunities appeared. Debts were paid, and his finances revived. Forgiveness had cleared the dam. Let us make this practical now. Take your paper once again. Write these words. I forgive all and I prosper freely. Say them aloud. Say them with conviction. As you release resentment, you release wealth. As you forgive, you open the channel. Remember, divine love dissolves everything, unlike itself. Hold to this law, and abundance will flow unobstructed. This is not sentimental, it is scientific. For the subconscious mind, once freed of bitterness, becomes a fertile ground for prosperity. And so I charge you now. Walk as one already wealthy. Think as one already supplied. Pray not as a beggar, but as a master. Affirm daily, I am open and receptive to divine abundance. Wealth circulates in my life with ease, blessing me and blessing all whom I meet. Let these words soak into your mind. Let them echo in your heart. Let them guide your steps. For wealth is not outside you. Wealth is within you. And as you believe, so shall it be done. Wealth begins with an inner choice to live as if abundance were already present. And this choice must be made again and again until it becomes second nature. Many treat prosperity like a stranger at the door, hesitating to invite it in, doubting whether it has come for them. But the man or woman who prospers is the one who welcomes abundance as a rightful guest, seated already at the table of life. This welcome is not arrogance but alignment. You were not created to scrape by in fear and limitation. You were created as a channel of infinite intelligence, designed to express richness, harmony, and generosity. When you awaken to this truth, you stop begging and start declaring. You stop pleading with God to give, and you start allowing God to flow. For the law is clear, as within so without. If you dwell in wealth inwardly, it must appear outwardly. A young student once confessed to me that he feared desiring wealth because he thought it was selfish. His conscience was burdened by the idea that prosperity was at odds with spirituality. I explained to him that this belief itself was the barrier. The infinite is boundless. To desire wealth is not to rob another, but to express more of the divine. Poverty does not serve God, abundance does. When you prosper, you are able to create, to give, to bless, to uplift. Lack limits your ability to serve, but abundance multiplies it. I told him to affirm daily, I desire abundance because it is God expressing through me. I prosper in order to bless others. Within weeks, his life brightened with opportunities he had long ignored. He realized that desiring wealth was not greed, but obedience to divine law. Remember always, there is no virtue in scarcity, but there is power in plenty. The subconscious mind is like a great reservoir of untapped riches. Most people stand thirsty beside it, begging for drops of water, when all they must do is open the channel. You open the channel by directing thought, by planting images, by affirming with feeling. If you fill the subconscious with pictures of bills, failures, and fears, it releases streams of lack. But if you fill it with visions of abundance, supply, and generosity, it releases rivers of prosperity. The reservoir does not choose, it only flows according to the command you give. This is why I tell you that prayer is not asking, but directing. It is the conscious act of impressing the subconscious with the pattern of wealth, so that the subconscious can faithfully outpicture it in form. One of the most effective methods is visualization before sleep. In that drowsy state, when the conscious guard grows quiet, the subconscious is most receptive. See yourself already in possession of what you desire. Feel the weight of money in your hand. Picture yourself giving freely, paying bills with ease, walking with confidence. Let the image saturate your mind until it feels more real than the room around you. Then seal it with a simple affirmation. I am one with divine abundance. It flows to me now. Drift into sleep holding this image, and the subconscious will begin its work. It does not argue. It does not question. It simply obeys. In time, the outer world must conform to the inner image, just as the harvest conforms to the seed. Do not overlook the power of gratitude. Gratitude is the magnet that multiplies. The man who complains repels wealth, but the one who gives thanks attracts more. Gratitude is not reserved for the day of plenty. It is most powerful when spoken in the day of lack. If your purse is empty, bless it as though it were full. If your table is bare, give thanks as though it were abundant. In doing so, you impress upon your subconscious the image of plenty, not scarcity. And as you sustain this gratitude, life begins to echo it. Say often, thank you, Father, for the riches of life that flow to me now. Gratitude turns every moment into prayer, every thought into wealth, and wealth follows gratitude as surely as dawn follows night. There was once a singer, paralyzed with fear, before stepping onto the stage. He said, I cannot perform, my voice will fail. Yet he remembered to command his inner mind. He whispered, I sing with ease and power. The spirit of harmony moves through me. Instantly he felt a surge of strength. He performed with brilliance, and the audience rose in applause. That same law works in your finances. If you say, I can't make it, nothing works. You choke the flow. But if you say, infinite intelligence supplies me richly, all my needs are met, your subconscious obeys and energizes you with opportunities, ideas, and favor. Never forget, your subconscious mind is your book of life. Write wisely upon it. Wealth is also a matter of circulation. Money must move. The universe is built on cycles, breath, tides, seasons. To hoard in fear is to block the rhythm of life. To give with joy is to keep the current alive. A woman once told me she tithed reluctantly, always resenting what she gave. I told her that resentment cancels the gift. She must give joyfully or not at all. She began to affirm, "I give with love, and it returns to me multiplied." Soon her giving turned from duty into delight, and her income increased beyond expectation. Remember this, giving is not loss but multiplication. The subconscious records the feeling behind the act, not the act itself. Give with love and love returns. Give with joy and joy returns. Give with fear and loss returns. Choose wisely how you give, for in it you declare how you shall receive. Another key is expectancy. Expectation is faith in motion. The one who prays for wealth but expects bills to pile higher is divided in mind. A divided mind receives nothing, but the one who prays, affirms, visualizes, and then expects the result to appear has already opened the channel. Expectancy sharpens the vision, heightens awareness, and attracts the right opportunities. A man who expected failure always saw obstacles. When he shifted to expectancy of success, he began to notice doors that had been open all along. Expectancy tunes your inner ear to the frequency of abundance. Say within yourself, "I expect only the best. I walk in divine favor." Every day brings new opportunities for prosperity, and as you expect it, you will see it. Let us engrave this lesson with affirmation. Take your pen and write these words. I welcome wealth as my rightful guest. I give with joy, and I receive in abundance. Say it aloud. Let it echo through your heart. Repeat it until it imprints itself on the subconscious, for the subconscious is listening, ready to obey, ready to create. You are the captain. Give the order. You are the architect. Draw the plan. You are the heir of divine abundance. Claim your inheritance. Walk now as one who knows it is already his, and you will see wealth appear in ways you could never have planned. Wealth is born in silence, long before it is seen in substance. The world is filled with men and women who work feverishly, striving outwardly, yet inwardly they are consumed by worry, and so their labor yields little fruit. But the man who works inwardly first, planting the seed of prosperity in his subconscious mind, finds that outer efforts multiply effortlessly. You must understand this. Your subconscious is the workshop where invisible ideas take form, where unseen patterns are built before they are cast into the material world. When you pray with faith, when you affirm with conviction, when you visualize with feeling, you are building the mold, and once the mold is complete, reality must pour itself into it. This is law, unchanging and infallible. The one who neglects the inner mold will always struggle outwardly, but the one who shapes it within will see the outer shape itself in harmony. A man once came to me in despair. He had lost his fortune and thought his life was ruined. He pleaded for a way to rebuild, but all he could see was the shadow of failure. I told him plainly, "You have been worshiping the loss. You think about it, talk about it, replay it in your mind, and by doing so you keep impressing failure upon your subconscious. That is why opportunity avoids you." Then I instructed him to reverse the pattern. Each morning he was to affirm, "Infinite intelligence restores all that I have lost. New riches flow to me in divine order. I prosper again." At night he was to picture himself shaking hands over new contracts, smiling as he deposited checks, rejoicing with his family. Slowly his mind shifted, and in less than a year opportunities reappeared. New ventures opened and his fortune was restored. The outer returned because the inner had first been rebuilt. There is a universal law you must remember. Whatever you attach to the phrase "I am," your subconscious accepts as a command. If you say "I am poor," poverty takes root. If you say "I am unworthy," doors remain closed. But if you declare "I am abundant, I am guided, I am prosperous," those words become seeds planted in fertile soil. The subconscious does not argue, it executes. This is why careless words are so dangerous. Many men curse their own wealth without realizing it, repeating phrases of defeat until lack becomes their companion. Train yourself now to reverse this habit. Speak only what you wish to live, and when fear rises, counter it instantly. Do not let "I am weak" stand unchallenged. Replace it at once with "I am strong in divine supply." Do not let "I am broke" stain your mind. Replace it with "I am richly provided for in every way." Wealth is also a matter of harmony. If your mind is divided, affirming abundance while harboring fear, you send conflicting commands to your subconscious. The result is confusion, delay, stagnation. A man who sows wheat and weeds together cannot expect a pure harvest. So too with your thoughts. Eliminate the weeds of fear, resentment and doubt. Nurture only seeds of faith, expectancy and gratitude. Harmony between conscious and subconscious thought produces swift results. Disharmony delays them. This is why prayer is most effective when you enter it in a state of calm faith, not panic. If you pray in desperation, begging and pleading, you are impressing fear, not faith. But if you pray with quiet conviction, knowing the answer is already yours, your subconscious receives it as fact and sets the law in motion. I recall a woman who longed to marry, but was filled with bitterness toward men from past disappointments. She prayed for love, but carried hatred in her heart. Her subconscious accepted the hatred, not the prayer, and so her relationships failed. When she finally forgave, when she began affirming love, joy, and harmony, her subconscious shifted. She later met a man in the most ordinary of places, a drugstore, and they built a happy life together. The same principle applies to wealth. You cannot pray for prosperity while resenting the rich. You cannot affirm abundance while secretly despising money. Align your inner state with what you desire, and the subconscious will outpicture it without resistance. The subconscious also responds to imagery more powerfully than words alone. If you desire wealth, see yourself already living it. If you want freedom from debt, picture the letter stamp paid in full. If you long for financial security, imagine yourself resting in peace, your affairs in order, your family safe and provided for. These images bypass the reasoning mind and go straight to the subconscious, where they are received as reality. Combine them with affirmations and their power multiplies. This is why I urge you to practice nightly visualization. Let the last impression upon your mind before sleep be the image of abundance. Your subconscious, working while you rest, will labor all night to bring it into form. You must also learn to release your desire after impressing it. Do not clutch it with anxiety. Do not dig up the seed to check if it is growing. Plant it and let it be. Trust the law. Many delay their prosperity because they pray for wealth. Then rise from prayer doubting whether it will work. Doubt is poison to the seed. Faith is water to it. Once you have affirmed and visualized, let go. Move through your day with confidence that the law is working. Opportunities may come in ways you never expected. The answer may appear through channels you never imagined. Do not restrict the infinite by dictating how it must come. Simply know it is already secured, and give thanks in advance. Let us anchor this lesson with an affirmation. Take your pen and write these words. I am abundant, I am guided, I am prosperous. Say them aloud. Feel them vibrate through your being. Repeat them until they become the very atmosphere of your mind. These words are not idle, they are commands to your subconscious, which even now is listening, recording, and preparing to manifest. Speak them daily, and you will watch your life transform. For wealth is not something you chase, it is something you embody. And as you embody it within, it cannot help but appear without. So I urge you, guard your words, guard your images, guard your beliefs, for these are the seeds you plant in the soil of your subconscious. Plant fear and reap lack. Plant faith and reap abundance. Plant doubt and reap delay. Plant conviction and reap prosperity. The law is impartial. It does not decide for you, it obeys you. Decide now what you will plant, for in it lies the future of your wealth. And remember always, what is impressed is expressed, and what you believe you become. Every man and woman carries within them an invisible treasury far greater than gold or silver. This treasury is the subconscious mind, the storehouse of ideas, images, and beliefs that shape destiny. Yet most live as paupers beside a vault, never opening it, never realizing the wealth it contains. They struggle and strive outwardly, blind to the truth that the key is inward. The law is simple. What you impress, you express. If you impress images of abundance, peace, and confidence, you express prosperity, harmony, and success. If you impress images of fear, resentment, and limitation, you express poverty, conflict, and failure. The subconscious is impartial. It brings forth whatever seed is planted. You are the sower, you are the planter, and life is the harvest of your inner field. I once knew a man who constantly complained of lack. His words were always, I can't afford it, I'll never get ahead. His subconscious took these words as commands and faithfully created conditions to match. His income was small. Opportunities slipped through his hands, and bills seemed to multiply. One day he decided to reverse the pattern. Instead of repeating lack, he began to affirm, I am abundantly supplied. Infinite intelligence provides for me in ways I cannot see. At first it felt false, even foolish, but he persisted, repeating it morning and night, writing it, saying it, imagining it. Slowly his subconscious absorbed the new pattern. Within months his fortunes turned. Opportunities appeared, debts were cleared, and he began to save. The law had not changed, only the seed he planted. And so I tell you, plant wisely. The greatest obstacle to wealth is not the absence of money, but the presence of fear. Fear is faith inverted. Fear believes in lack, in limitation, and defeat. And what you believe, you create. Many pray for abundance, but secretly fear poverty. And so their subconscious manifests the fear, not the prayer. You must uproot fear with faith. When fear whispers, you may fail, answer with conviction. I cannot fail, for infinite intelligence guides me. When fear says you may lose, declare, I am safe, I am provided for. I am secure in divine supply. Each reversal weakens fear and strengthens faith, until faith becomes the dominant seed. And once faith rules, prosperity flows. The law of belief does not bow to fear. It obeys conviction. And so your task is to let faith become your only conviction. Another man I counseled was paralyzed by envy. He saw others prosper and felt bitterness rise within him. He thought their gain meant his loss. But envy is a denial of your own abundance. It is telling the subconscious there is not enough for me. And the subconscious obliges, producing more lack. I taught him instead to bless wealth wherever he saw it. If he passed a mansion, he whispered, thank you, Father, for the riches that flow to this man. The same riches flow to me. If he saw another succeed, he rejoiced inwardly, affirming what God does for one, he does for all, and he does it now for me. As his envy dissolved, his opportunities multiplied. He learned the truth that abundance is infinite, and blessing it in others opens the channel for it in yourself. The subconscious responds not to empty ritual, but to living conviction. You may repeat affirmations 1,000 times, but if you feel fear in your heart, it is fear that is impressed. Words without feeling are like seeds scattered on stone. But words charged with emotion are seeds planted in fertile soil. This is why I tell you to speak your affirmations with feeling. Do not chant them mechanically. See the truth of them. Feel the reality of them. Imagine the fulfillment of them. When you say, I am wealthy, let your body relax into the peace of wealth already secured. When you say, I am abundant, let your mind rejoice as if the abundance were present. Feeling is the bridge between word and manifestation. Without it, the word remains empty. With it, the word becomes flesh. Prayer is most powerful when it moves from asking to knowing. Asking implies separation. Knowing affirms union. If you beg for wealth, you affirm that you lack it. If you declare wealth, you affirm that it is already yours. This is the prayer of faith. It is not pleading for God to act, but aligning with the law that is already acting. When you declare, I am supplied, I am prospered, I am guided, you are not convincing God, you are convincing your subconscious. And once convinced, it cannot help but express the pattern outwardly. Do not beg for what is already given. Claim it, accept it, walk in it. This is the secret of answered prayer. Gratitude amplifies this process. A grateful heart impresses the subconscious with abundance, even in the midst of lack. A man with only one coin who blesses it as though it were a fortune sends a message of wealth to his subconscious, and more coins follow. A man with riches who complains of what he lacks impresses scarcity and invites loss. Gratitude is wealth consciousness in action. Say often, thank you, Father, for the supply that flows to me now. Thank you for the riches of life that surround me. Thank you for the unseen channels opening before me. Let gratitude be your constant companion, and you will find life reflecting it in multiplying ways. Circulation is also vital. Money, like blood, must flow to sustain life. If you clutch it in fear, you block the current. If you release it with joy, you keep the rhythm alive. Give freely, spend wisely, invest with confidence, and money will return multiplied. A woman once said she feared giving because she thought she might never get it back. I told her that fear dammed the river. When she began to give with joy, she found money returning in unexpected ways, always multiplied. Remember, the subconscious records not the act, but the attitude. If you give in fear, you declare lack. If you give in love, you declare abundance, and abundance answers. Let us now impress this truth with a living declaration. Take your paper and write, I am abundant. I am fearless. I am free. Wealth circulates in my life joyfully and multiplies endlessly. Say it aloud until you feel it, until the words vibrate with life. This is your command to the subconscious. This is your seed of prosperity. Plant it deeply, water it with faith, guard it with vigilance, and watch the harvest come. For the law is faithful, the law is constant, the law cannot fail. What you believe, you become. What you impress, you express. And as you walk in this truth, you will see wealth rise like the dawn, inevitable and unstoppable. Wealth is a language, and your subconscious mind is always listening to the words you speak and the images you project. Most people speak the dialect of lack. They complain of bills, they sigh over debts, they mutter about high prices, and in doing so, they are commanding the subconscious to create more of the same. Every complaint is a seed, and every seed grows after its kind. If you sow resentment, you reap more reasons to resent. If you sow gratitude, you reap more reasons to be grateful. The subconscious does not judge whether the seed is good or bad, true or false. It simply accepts and multiplies it. This is why I tell you to discipline your speech. Speak only of what you wish to see multiplied. Let your tongue be the pen that writes prosperity upon the book of your subconscious mind. A woman once told me that whenever she received her paycheck, her first thought was, "It will never be enough." Month after month, she repeated this inner decree, and her life proved her words true. I instructed her to reverse it. Each time she received her pay, she was to bless it, saying, "I rejoice in this supply, and greater supply flows to me constantly." At first it felt forced, but she persisted. Within weeks, she found unexpected opportunities for additional income, and soon her finances exceeded her needs. The change was not in the paycheck, but in the pattern impressed upon her subconscious. What she once cursed, she began to bless, and blessing multiplied it. So I ask you now, what are you cursing with your words? And what might happen if you began to bless it instead? The subconscious also responds to expectancy with remarkable accuracy. A man who expects bills, delays, and disappointments will find them at every turn. A man who expects windfalls, progress, and opportunities will attract them as naturally as a magnet draws iron. Expectation is a form of faith, and faith is creative. Whatever you truly expect, you invite. So train yourself to expect only good. When you awaken in the morning, do not brace for problems. Expect solutions. When you walk into a room, do not expect rejection. Expect favor. When you pursue a venture, do not expect loss. Expect success. And as you carry this expectancy, life will echo it. Say often, "I expect only the best. I expect prosperity. I expect divine favor." The subconscious will record it, and the universe will arrange itself to honor it. Do not underestimate the influence of imagination. Imagination is the workshop of the subconscious. It is through vivid images, felt with intensity, that you impress wealth upon your inner mind. If you imagine lack, fear, and failure, your subconscious will faithfully construct them. If you imagine wealth, peace, and success, it will just as faithfully construct those. A man once visualized himself constantly struggling with creditors, and his life never improved until he learned to replace the picture. He began to imagine himself shaking hands in agreement, paying bills with ease, walking in dignity. Those images impressed daily took root, and in time his circumstances aligned with them. Remember this, you cannot rise higher than the images you hold. Lift the image and life will rise to meet it. Prayer is the highest form of imagination, for in prayer you see and feel your desire is already fulfilled. Do not pray timidly, as if asking a distant God for crumbs. Pray boldly, as one who knows he is heir to infinite riches. If you desire freedom from debt, do not beg for escape. Declare freedom is already yours. Picture the debt cleared. Feel the relief. Rejoice as though it were done. If you desire increase, see yourself living in abundance. Hear the words of others congratulating you. Feel the satisfaction of prosperity. This is the prayer of faith, and faith is the only language the subconscious understands. Speak it with conviction, and the law of life must respond. Gratitude, expectancy, imagination. These three form a triad of wealth. Gratitude affirms that abundance is already present. Expectancy declares that more is on the way. Imagination shapes the pattern into which it must flow. Together they create an unbreakable circuit of prosperity. Practice them daily. Begin with gratitude in the morning. Walk in expectancy throughout the day, and close the evening with imagination. In this way you saturate your subconscious on every side, leaving no room for doubt or fear. And the result must be wealth, for the law of belief never fails. What is impressed is expressed. What is affirmed inwardly becomes manifested outwardly. There is also the law of non-resistance. Many people delay their prosperity by fighting circumstances, resenting others, and resisting life. Resistance tightens the mind, blocks the flow, and shuts the channel. Non-resistance opens it. When you surrender to the divine flow, when you let go of struggle and allow infinite intelligence to work through you, prosperity comes with ease. This does not mean passivity, it means trust. It means ceasing to force and beginning to flow. The man who resisted every obstacle in anger always found more obstacles. When he learned to affirm, divine order is at work, and all things work together for good, his path cleared, the obstacles dissolved, and the way opened. So release resistance, affirm harmony, trust the flow, and you will see wealth follow naturally. Another key is forgiveness. For unforgiveness is resistance in its most poisonous form. To hold bitterness is to block your own prosperity. The subconscious, fed with anger, cannot bring forth abundance. But the moment you forgive, the dam breaks and the river flows again. Forgive not for their sake alone, but for your own freedom. Forgive to prosper. Say within yourself, I release all resentment. I forgive all, and I prosper freely. And as you do, you clear the channel of your subconscious, and wealth can move without hindrance. Many have found that as soon as they forgave, opportunities appeared, debts dissolved, and finances improved. Forgiveness is not just moral, it is financial wisdom. Now let us impress these truths with a living declaration. Take your paper and write, I expect abundance. I imagine prosperity. I give thanks for wealth already mine. Say it aloud with conviction. Repeat it until it vibrates within you. For these words are seeds, and the subconscious is fertile soil. Plant them daily, water them with faith, guard them from doubt, and they will bear fruit in divine order. This is the law. It does not fail. And as you walk in gratitude, expectancy, and imagination, you will watch wealth rise around you as surely as the sun rises in the morning sky. A man once told me he felt cursed. Everything he touched seemed to fail. Every venture collapsed. I asked him to describe his daily thoughts. He confessed that each morning he began with the fear. What if today something goes wrong? His subconscious, loyal and unquestioning, produced exactly what he expected. I told him to reverse it. Each morning he was to affirm, today divine order governs all my affairs. Everything I touch prospers. Success flows to me and through me. At first he struggled to believe it, but persistence carved a new groove in his subconscious. Soon his ventures began to succeed. Partnerships flourished, and opportunities multiplied. The curse was never outside him. It was the belief he carried within. Once the belief changed, the life changed. This is the law, impartial and unchanging. Guard your mornings carefully, for the thoughts you impress at the dawn of the day set the tone for all that follows. Do not rise rehearsing yesterday's failures or anticipating today's troubles. Rise in faith. Rise in gratitude. Rise with affirmations of abundance. Let your first thoughts be seeds of prosperity, and you will find your hours bearing fruit in harmony. The conscious mind is the captain, the subconscious is the crew. If the captain begins the day with confusion and fear, the crew steers the ship toward wreckage. If the captain begins with clarity and faith, the crew steers toward safe harbors and overflowing supply. Speak to your subconscious at dawn, and it will obey at dusk. True wealth is not the mere possession of things, but the consciousness of abundance. A man with millions who trembles in fear of losing them is poorer than the laborer who trusts divine supply each day. Wealth is not measured by coins, but by confidence, not by holdings, but by harmony. To live in wealth is to know inwardly that you are always provided for, that the same infinite intelligence which paints the flowers and sustains the stars flows ceaselessly through you. When you awaken to this truth, anxiety dissolves, and prosperity becomes natural. The universe is not stingy, it is not scarce, it is limitless, overflowing, inexhaustible, and you, made in the image of the infinite, are heir to that same inexhaustible supply. You must also remember that your wealth is for service, not hoarding. The man who clutches in fear shrinks his world. The one who circulates in faith expands it. When you prosper, you are to be a channel, not a dam. As money flows through you, bless it, direct it, let it serve good, and it will return multiplied. A man who hoards in fear will always fear loss, but the one who gives in confidence will always see return. The subconscious records the feeling of abundance, not the figure in the account. If you give with joy, it records abundance and multiplies it. If you give with fear, it records lack and reduces it. So give with joy, and you will always live in joy. You must also learn to think from the end, not toward it. If you desire wealth, do not fix your eyes on the struggle of acquiring it. Fix them on the state of already having it. Imagine yourself living in freedom, acting with confidence, blessing others with generosity. Feel it real. Live in the assumption that it is already yours. The subconscious accepts assumptions as facts, and life arranges itself to prove them. This is why Jesus said, when you pray, believe that you receive, and you shall have. Believe you receive. Now, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. When you walk as though it were already done, the universe echoes your conviction. Think from the end, and the end will unfold. One woman longed to own her own home, yet she always said, "I will never be able to afford it." Her subconscious heard the decree and closed every door. I told her to change her words, to begin affirming, "I live in my right home, provided by divine supply. Every detail is perfect, and I rejoice in it now." She wrote it, repeated it, and visualized it with joy. Soon unexpected opportunities arose. A house appeared that suited her exactly, and means to obtain it came in ways she never could have planned. The law of belief worked, not because she forced it, but because she aligned with it. She stopped declaring lack and began declaring abundance. Her subconscious obeyed, and her desire became form. Another law of wealth is detachment. When you cling desperately to money, you tell your subconscious that it is scarce and must be clung to. When you release it with trust, you tell your subconscious that supply is infinite. Detachment is not carelessness, it is confidence. It is knowing that the same source that provided today provides tomorrow. It is resting in the certainty that your supply does not come from men or markets, but from the infinite. The detached mind is free, peaceful, creative, and receptive. The anxious mind is bound, restless, and blind to opportunity. Detach from fear, and you will attach to abundance. Let us engrave these truths with affirmation. Take your pen and write, "Everything I touch prospers. I live from the end. I circulate wealth with joy, and it returns multiplied." Say it aloud now. Feel its vibration. Impress it upon your subconscious. Let it be the song of your mornings and the peace of your nights. For as you believe, so shall you receive. The law is faithful. The law is unchanging. And the wealth you seek is already waiting within you, ready to flow as soon as you command it. The wealth you seek is not distant. It is here, waiting to be awakened by the images and convictions you impress upon your subconscious mind. Too long have men begged for scraps from the outer world while ignoring the banquet spread within them. Too long have they said, "If only I had more," when the truth is that they already possess more than enough. If only they would claim it. Wealth is a state of consciousness, and consciousness is the only treasure that cannot be stolen. The one who knows himself as abundant is abundant, regardless of outer appearances, and the one who clings to fear is poor, even if surrounded by riches. This is why the scriptures declare, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Think abundance in your heart, and you will live abundance in your life. A man once told me he was weary of failure. Every venture collapsed, every door seemed shut. When I asked what he told himself daily, he admitted that his constant thought was, "I never succeed." His subconscious, obedient and unquestioning, delivered precisely what he commanded. I told him to reverse it at once, to declare instead, "I succeed in all I do. Infinite intelligence prospers every step I take." He began to repeat it daily, writing it, speaking it, imagining its truth. At first his outer world looked the same, but within weeks his confidence grew. New contacts appeared, and opportunities multiplied. Soon he was thriving in ventures that once would have failed. Nothing had changed but the seed, and when the seed changed, the harvest changed with it. This is the unfailing law. What you impress is expressed. Wealth responds to conviction, not to desperation. A beggar mentality cannot produce a king's abundance. If you pray in panic, you impress panic. If you affirm with fear, you impress fear. But if you declare with calm conviction, knowing that you already possess what you seek, then the subconscious accepts it as reality and begins to create accordingly. This is why Jesus said, "According to your faith be it unto you." Not according to your wish, not according to your plea, but according to your faith. Faith is confidence in law. It is certainty that what you believe is already done. When you pray, do not look outward for signs. Look inward and know. Act as if it were already true, and soon the outer world must echo it. Many people make the mistake of tying their wealth to circumstances, jobs, or people. They think supply comes from a paycheck, a client, a market. But these are only channels, never the source. The true source is the infinite within you, and it never runs dry. If one channel closes, another opens. If one door shuts, a better door swings wide. Do not fear the shifting of channels. Do not cling to a single source. Trust the infinite, and you will never lack. Your subconscious, when impressed with the truth that supply is eternal, will create new channels, new opportunities, new flows of abundance. Say often, "God is my source. Infinite supply is mine now." Channels may change, but the source is constant. Let this truth be your anchor, and fear will never rule you again. You must also remember that wealth is meant to be shared. To hoard is to suffocate. To circulate is to multiply. Every act of generosity tells your subconscious, I live in abundance, and abundance answers. A woman once feared giving, believing she had too little. But when she began to give joyfully, even in small amounts, she found her income growing, her needs met, her heart lighter. The act of giving impressed the belief of plenty, and plenty followed. So give with joy, give with confidence, give knowing that what you release returns multiplied. Your subconscious records the attitude of the gift, not the size. If you give with fear, you reap lack. If you give with joy, you reap abundance. Detachment is another secret of prosperity. When you clutch money in fear, you declare to your subconscious that there is not enough, and so it withholds. But when you release with trust, you declare that supply is infinite, and so it multiplies. Detachment does not mean carelessness, it means confidence. It means resting in the truth that the same infinite that provided today provides tomorrow. Detach from fear, and you will discover opportunities, ideas, and blessings flowing freely. The man who clings is bound, but the one who trusts is free. Say within yourself, I am free from fear of loss. I trust the infinite to provide always. Let this detachment open the floodgates of prosperity. Now let us engrave this teaching into the very depths of your mind. Take your paper and write in bold letters, I am one with infinite wealth. Supply flows to me freely, abundantly, ceaselessly. I give with joy. I receive with joy, and I live in peace. Say it aloud, feel it, repeat it until it becomes the very air you breathe. These words are not poetry, they are commands to your subconscious. Plant them daily, and they will grow into a harvest beyond your imagining. For the law of life is the law of belief. What you believe, you create. What you impress, you express. And as you believe now, so shall it be. So walk in this truth with confidence. Think abundance, feel abundance, act in abundance, and abundance will surround you. Let every prayer be an affirmation, every thought a seed, every word a declaration. The law cannot fail you, for it is written into the fabric of life itself. You are not a beggar of wealth, you are the heir of infinite riches. Claim your inheritance boldly, live in it daily, and let the world see the reflection of your inner conviction, shining as prosperity, freedom, and peace. The treasure is within you, open it and let it flow. There is a mystery that the mind resists at first, yet the heart knows to be true. The outer world is but a mirror of the inner state. When you look upon your circumstances, you are gazing into a reflection of your habitual thoughts and beliefs. Poverty is not an external accident. It is the shadow of inner fear impressed upon the subconscious. Illness is not always a punishment from without. It is often the body obeying an inward command of tension, resentment, or despair. And so too, success is not merely the reward of toil, but the flowering of faith and expectancy planted in silence. For 3 days you are not merely repeating words, you are reconfiguring the mirror itself. Every time you declare, I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts, you are painting a new reflection on the canvas of your subconscious, and the mirror of life must respond. This law has no exceptions, no favoritism, no delays. As within, so without. What is impressed must be expressed. When you begin to grasp this truth, you also understand why so many live lives of quiet frustration. They toil outwardly, striving to manipulate conditions, to bend people, to control circumstances, all the while leaving untouched the very root of their experience. They polish the mirror, but forget to change the image reflected in it. For 3 days, you have chosen a different path. You have chosen to address the root, to alter the hidden image, to give your subconscious a new blueprint. And once the blueprint changes, the outer edifice must follow. It is like an architect altering the plan of a house. The builders cannot help but follow the new design. Your subconscious is the builder, tireless and obedient, shaping the structure of your days from the plans you impress upon it. Give it words of harmony, wealth and wisdom, and it will build accordingly. Do not underestimate the power of imagination in this process. When you speak your affirmation, let your mind construct pictures to match the words. See yourself standing before a door that has always been locked. Watch as it swings open effortlessly at your approach. Step through in your mind. Feel the cool air of freedom on your face, the exhilaration of possibility unfolding. See yourself seated in rooms of opportunity, welcomed by faces once closed, guided into paths once hidden. Your subconscious accepts these images as commands, and it sets in motion currents you cannot trace, weaving circumstances and encounters that align with the vision. For 3 days, feed it pictures of doors opening, and it will begin to open them in your waking life. There is a reason that Scripture places such weight on the power of the tongue. Words are not empty. They are containers of belief, vehicles of vibration, carriers of power. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, it is written, and those who love it shall eat its fruit. Consider then what fruit you have eaten from careless words, and consider what new harvest you will reap from words deliberately chosen. When you say, I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts, you are choosing life, you are choosing abundance, you are choosing confidence, and the fruit of that choice will appear in due season, for the law is unbreakable. Sow and reap, impress and express. Many will scoff, saying, surely life is not changed by words. But these same skeptics live bound by the words they have spoken for years. They declare daily, I am unlucky, I am tired, I am broke, and their subconscious, faithful and uncritical, manifests these decrees without fail. If words of weakness have such power to bind, how much greater the power of words of truth to liberate. For 3 days, you are conducting a sacred experiment in reversal. You are testing the divine law with your own life as the canvas. And I tell you, if you persist, you will see evidence. The inner critic may rise and laugh, but do not listen. Return to your words. Anchor yourself again, for faith is not tested in the absence of doubt, but in its presence. Every time you choose to affirm rather than despair, you are winning a battle unseen, and soon its victory will shine in the visible. You will also discover that these words begin to reshape not only your circumstances, but your character. For what you affirm, you become. Say daily, I am one with wealth and wisdom, and soon you notice yourself walking with more assurance, speaking with more clarity, making decisions with greater discernment. The subconscious does not stop at rearranging your environment. It reshapes your identity to match the decree. You become the vessel of the words you carry. And so what began as a simple exercise of 3 days becomes the seed of lifelong transformation. For if you can alter the course of your life in 3 days, what might you do in 30, in 300? The habit of speaking truth into your subconscious is the habit of kings and sages, and it will not fail you. But beware of one subtle danger, the temptation to test the law with impatience. Some will affirm for 1 day and then peer anxiously into their circumstances, demanding instant proof. This is like planting a seed and then digging it up to see if it has sprouted. The act of doubt uproots the work. Your task is not to peer and prod, but to plant and trust. For 3 days, speak your words and release them, confident that the unseen processes of the subconscious and the infinite are already at work. If you look and see nothing, rejoice, for the work is being done beneath the surface. Do not measure the power of your affirmation by immediate appearances. Measure it by the certainty of divine law. What is impressed is expressed, and the expression may come suddenly or slowly, but it must come. Let me remind you of a story that bears witness to this truth. A woman plagued by resentment developed a physical lesion. Doctors could not heal it, but when she forgave, when she affirmed love and help, the lesion vanished. The words dissolved the pattern of hate within her subconscious, and the body, obedient to the new command, restored itself. This is not superstition, but law. The subconscious governs both body and circumstance, and when impressed with truth, it heals, harmonizes, and opens doors. If resentment can close a door in the body itself, forgiveness and affirmation can open doors in the world. So for these 3 days, let no bitterness remain unchallenged. If old wounds arise, meet them not with anger, but with your affirmation. Replace the sting of memory with the strength of your decree. The law works not only for you, but through you. As you affirm wealth and wisdom, you become a channel of abundance and insight for others. Doors open not only for your advancement, but for the good you can bring into the lives of those around you. This is divine order. As you rise, you lift others. As you walk through new doors, you make way for those who follow. Never think that your practice is selfish. The light you kindle in your subconscious becomes a beacon for others in darkness. So let your affirmation be charged not only with desire, but with goodwill. Say within yourself, I am one with wealth and wisdom, and as I rise, I bless others with the overflow. For the infinite does not bless one at the expense of another. It multiplies, it expands, it enriches all who align with its flow. So again I ask you, in this very moment, whisper the words and feel them vibrate in your chest. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Let them settle deep. Let them take root in silence. For 3 days, hold fast, and you will watch as life itself bends to honor the law you have chosen to live by. For what is impressed will be expressed, and what is decreed in faith must appear in form. The subconscious mind is always listening, always absorbing, always carrying out the orders it is given. It does not sleep, it does not question, it does not delay. Even as your conscious mind rests, even as your body lies in slumber, the subconscious is working ceaselessly on the instructions it has received. That is why the final words you speak at night are of such great importance. For in that twilight state between waking and sleep, the gate of the subconscious is open wide, receptive and unguarded. If you fall asleep murmuring words of fear, the subconscious will accept them and magnify them. But if you fall asleep affirming, I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts, then through the silent hours of the night your deeper mind will labor to bring this truth into expression. Each morning you will awaken a little stronger, a little freer, a little more attuned to the rhythm of abundance that surrounds you. Understand that your subconscious is not bound by the limitations your conscious mind imagines. It does not know barriers of time, distance, or circumstance. It knows only the law. What is impressed is expressed. You may not see how a path could open, but your subconscious is not limited to the narrow corridors of your reasoning. It is connected to infinite intelligence, and that intelligence knows the shortest, swiftest, most harmonious route to your good. When you affirm wealth and wisdom, you are not asking your intellect to figure it out. You are entrusting the infinite to arrange it in ways you cannot foresee. And often the manifestation comes through channels you would never have considered, with precision and ease that seem miraculous to the rational mind. Yet to the law, it is simple, natural, inevitable. Do not therefore be concerned with how the doors will open. Your task is only to speak, to believe, and to remain faithful to the words you have chosen. If you speak them with conviction for 3 days, you will have imprinted them deeply enough to set forces in motion that continue long after the 3 days have passed. The seed does not stop growing simply because the sower has walked away from the field. The subconscious continues to nurture what it has received, and in due time the harvest comes. This is why it is said, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your affirmation is the evidence, your feeling is the substance, the manifestation is but the natural result. You may wonder why 3 days is enough to begin this transformation. It is because intensity, not duration, impresses the subconscious. A single statement charged with conviction can outweigh months of idle chatter. When you concentrate your faith into a brief but focused period, you create an imprint deep enough to alter the pattern of your mind. 3 days of unwavering affirmation plants a seed so firmly that even if you falter afterward, the subconscious continues its work. Think of it as striking a bell with great force. The sound reverberates long after the strike. Your words are the strike. The subconscious carries the reverberation into your life. Let me share with you a picture. Imagine a vast crew aboard a great ship. The captain stands on the deck and issues commands. The crew does not question, they simply obey. If the captain says, sail into storm, they obey, though disaster follows. If the captain says, set course for calm waters, they obey and safety results. Your conscious mind is that captain. Your subconscious is the crew. For 3 days you must take the wheel and give only wise commands. Do not leave the ship drifting on old orders, for it will crash upon the rocks of past beliefs. Seize the wheel, speak your affirmation, and set the course toward wealth, wisdom, and freedom from fear. The crew will obey, the ship will turn, the journey will change. Think of the subconscious as a loyal servant who never rests. It does not evaluate whether the command is wise or foolish. It simply obeys. If you say, I am unworthy, it accepts and arranges your life accordingly. If you say, I am one with wealth and wisdom, it likewise accepts and organizes circumstances to reflect that decree. The servant does not choose, the master chooses, and you, through your conscious choice of words, are the master. Do not abdicate this power to old habits of speech, to careless mutterings of lack and fear. Speak deliberately, speak with authority. Let your words be the commands of a sovereign to his realm, and the subconscious, faithful and unquestioning, will carry them out to the letter. You will also notice resistance from the old patterns. Doubts may arise, mocking your practice. Memories of failure may surface, whispering, this cannot work. Recognize these for what they are. The remnants of the old order, the weeds struggling against the new growth. Do not fear them. Do not dwell on them. Simply return to your words. Say again with calm authority, I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Each time you do, the old patterns lose power, and the new decree gains strength. This is the battle for the soil of your subconscious, and each affirmation is a victory. During these days, notice how your awareness begins to shift. Situations that once seemed threatening appear less intimidating. Ideas arise unbidden, guiding you toward solutions. You feel nudged to make a call, to visit a place, to take an action, and when you follow, you discover that the door is waiting open. This is not coincidence. It is the law unfolding, the subconscious arranging, infinite intelligence guiding. Trust these nudges. Act upon them with courage. They are the signs that your affirmation has taken root and begun to bear fruit. The law is absolute. What is impressed is expressed. Therefore, impress only that which you desire. Do not plant weeds and expect roses. Do not affirm lack and expect abundance. Choose your words as carefully as a jeweler selects precious stones. For 3 days, guard your speech as a sacred trust. Every time you utter your affirmation, you are shaping your destiny, engraving upon the tablet of your subconscious a command that must be fulfilled. And as surely as the dawn follows the night, the fulfillment will come. So once more, let us speak together. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Say it not as a beggar pleading for alms, but as a king declaring his dominion. Say it with quiet certainty, with inner conviction, with the authority of one who knows the law. For the law of life is the law of belief. And what you believe you shall see. What you impress you shall express. What you decree you shall demonstrate. Hold these words for 3 days, and watch as doors open that no man can shut. There is a secret rhythm to life, a harmony that few ever learn to hear. Yet it is present in every breath, every heartbeat, every unfolding circumstance. That rhythm is the law of cause and effect, the law that whatever you impress upon your inner world is echoed back in the outer. Most live deaf to this rhythm, stumbling in dissonance, declaring lack and meeting poverty, speaking fear and meeting danger, affirming failure and meeting disappointment. But when you learn to bring your words into harmony with the divine law, when you speak affirmations of truth, abundance and wisdom, the whole orchestra of life begins to shift its tune. For 3 days you have set yourself to this practice, and already the first notes of the new symphony begin to play. The question is not whether the law will respond, but whether you will persist long enough to hear the music in full. You must understand that persistence is the key. The subconscious mind is like clay, soft and yielding, yet it takes the impression only when pressure is applied with consistency. A casual touch leaves no mark, but a steady press engraves a permanent pattern. For 3 days you are applying that steady press, shaping the clay of your inner world with the tools of words and belief. Each repetition of I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts, deepens the groove, carves the pathway, establishes the pattern. And once the pattern is set, the subconscious will reproduce it again and again, just as clay once molded will continue to bear the form of its mold. Do not underestimate the quiet power of persistence. It is not the loud shout, but the steady whisper that moves mountains. Life will test your persistence. It will whisper through old habits. Skip today, forget the words. They are just syllables, but you must remember that this is no empty ritual. These words are the blueprint of your tomorrow. If you neglect them, you abandon your design and revert to the chaos of old impressions. But if you persist, if you guard these words as a lamp against the night, you will find the darkness retreating before you. Doors will open not because of chance, but because you have held firm to the decree that they must. Each time you repeat the affirmation in the face of doubt, you are proving to your subconscious that the old order is finished and the new command is supreme. Do not fear when nothing seems to change on the surface. The seed planted does not sprout overnight, yet the germination is happening in silence. Beneath the soil, unseen forces are at work. Roots stretch, cells divide, life stirs. So too, beneath the surface of your circumstances, the subconscious is at work, arranging, aligning, preparing. Do not disturb the process with impatience. Simply water it with repetition, warm it with feeling, shield it with faith. The harvest will appear, and it will appear in divine order, not according to your anxious timetable, but according to the perfect rhythm of the infinite. Faith is trusting the unseen growth. Faith is resting in the certainty that what is impressed is already on its way to expression. Think of the many examples of those who lived by this law. Emerson, who overcame tuberculosis by dwelling in the beauty of nature and speaking words of health. Caruso, who silenced his stage fright by commanding his subconscious to express the voice of God within him. Patience, who rose from despair not through medicine alone, but through affirmations of divine order, laughter, and peace. These are not fairy tales, but demonstrations of the law. The words they spoke were not idle, they were seeds, and the harvest came. If such power can heal the body, why should it not also open doors of opportunity, of provision, of wisdom? The law is one, and it applies to every sphere of life. For 3 days you are aligning with that law deliberately, consciously, reverently. And as you do, You will feel changes not only in your circumstances but in your very being. Your posture shifts. Your gaze steadies. Your voice carries new weight. This is because the subconscious, once impressed, begins to reshape not only your world but your character. You begin to embody the wealth and wisdom you have declared. You begin to walk as one who is free of fear and doubt. And when you embody it, the world cannot help but reflect it. People respond to the vibration you carry. Opportunities gravitate to the magnet you have become. The law works not in abstraction, but in concrete demonstration. Let us go deeper still. The words you speak are more than affirmations. They are prayers. True prayer is not pleading with an external deity, but aligning the conscious and subconscious in harmony with divine law. When you affirm with feeling, you are praying scientifically. You are impressing the subconscious with the truth you desire to see, and the subconscious, connected to infinite intelligence, begins to arrange the demonstration. Prayer is not asking, it is claiming. It is not begging, it is affirming. When you say, "I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts," you are praying the most powerful of prayers, a declaration of identity with the infinite, and that prayer cannot return void. You may notice during these days that your dreams begin to shift, your inner imagery becoming brighter, freer, more expansive. This is the subconscious processing your affirmations, weaving them into its patterns, dissolving old shadows and planting new light. Pay attention to these dreams. They are signs that the work is underway. Do not fear strange images that may arise. They are the subconscious cleansing itself of old residues. Simply return each morning to your affirmation, and the process will continue with greater clarity. The time will come when the words no longer feel like an external command, but an inner truth. At first, you speak them with effort, pushing against the inertia of old patterns, but as you persist, they begin to feel natural, effortless, self-evident. You realize that you are not trying to become wealthy and wise. You already are, in essence. You are not struggling to banish fear. You are simply living from the truth that fear and doubt have no part in your being. When that realization dawns, the words are no longer seeds, they are blossoms, and the fruit is already on the branch. So I say to you again, as if engraving it upon the tablets of your soul, I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Say it with me. Write it on the page before you. Whisper it as you rise, repeat it as you rest. For these 3 days, let it be your covenant, your compass, your song. The law cannot fail you. The doors cannot remain shut. For you have spoken, you have impressed, you have believed. And what is impressed must be expressed, for such is the decree of life itself. Every thought you allow, every word you speak is a command etched into the fabric of your subconscious mind. And the world you see is nothing but the echo of those commands. This is why people find themselves caught in cycles they cannot explain. Cycles of lack, of failure, of repeating disappointment. They change their jobs, they change their homes, they change their companions, yet the same pattern returns because they have not changed the decree within. But you are not repeating the same cycle, for you have chosen to speak new words for 3 days, words that cut through the old order like a sword, words that engrave a new destiny upon the stone of your subconscious. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. That decree is not weak, it is not tentative, it is sovereign, and the subconscious obeys sovereignty without delay. The subconscious is like a vast reservoir, and the words you speak are the streams that flow into it. Speak of fear, and you pollute the waters. Speak of doubt, and the stream runs murky. Speak of harmony, wealth, and wisdom, and you clear the reservoir until it sparkles with divine light. And from that reservoir flows the river of your life, watering the fields of your circumstances, filling the cups of your encounters. For 3 days you are cleansing the reservoir, purifying its flow, redirecting its current, and soon the river itself will shift its course, bringing you into valleys of abundance and mountains of wisdom you could not have reached before. This is the power of repetition. This is the power of belief spoken aloud. It is essential that you do not merely speak these words with your lips, but feel them with your whole being. When you declare that you are one with wealth and wisdom, you must imagine the feeling of being secure, being free, being guided. Imagine yourself walking into a room with calm assurance, speaking with clarity, acting without hesitation. Imagine the weight of fear lifted, the chain of doubt broken, the path ahead clear. Let the images form as you speak, for the subconscious accepts feeling more swiftly than sound. A word spoken without emotion is like a seed cast on stone, but a word spoken with feeling is like a seed planted in fertile soil. For 3 days, let your words be soaked in emotion, and the harvest will be inevitable. Some will ask, what if my mind wanders? What if doubt intrudes? The answer is simple: return. Return to your affirmation again and again. Do not wrestle with the doubt, for that only gives it strength. Speak over it. Affirm again: I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Each return is a victory, each repetition a reinforcement, each declaration another stroke of the sculptor's chisel shaping the stone of your destiny. Do not despise the battle, for it is proof that transformation is underway. The old patterns resist because they know their reign is ending. Persist and they crumble. Persist and the new law is enthroned. The law of belief is impartial, like the law of gravity. It does not judge the worthiness of your words. It simply brings them into form. If you declare weakness, it manifests weakness. If you declare strength, it manifests strength. This is why Jesus said, "It is done unto you as you believe." Not as you wish, not as you hope, but as you believe. For belief is the union of word and feeling, thought and expectation. For 3 days you are weaving this union, and the tapestry will soon be visible. Do not underestimate the simplicity of this. The greatest truths are often the simplest, and the most powerful practices are the ones most easily overlooked. To speak words of truth with feeling for 3 days may seem small, but it is small only in effort. In effect, it is immense, for it alters the very foundation of your being. You may feel the stirrings of change already. Perhaps a heaviness has lifted. Perhaps a new energy pulses through you. Perhaps an idea has risen unbidden to your mind. These are signs that the law is working. Do not dismiss them. Treasure them as the first blossoms of spring, proof that the soil is alive and the seed has taken root. More will come, greater will follow, but honor the small beginnings, for they are the whispers of infinite intelligence, assuring you that the process is underway. Trust the whispers, follow the nudges, act upon the guidance. For as you affirm, the infinite moves, arranging circumstances, aligning opportunities, opening doors you could not have forced open by strength alone. Understand that wealth and wisdom are not distant prizes you must chase, but states of being already present within you. The affirmation does not import them from afar. It awakens them from within. The river of abundance already flows in your subconscious. The affirmation clears the dam of fear and doubt so that it may rush forth. The flame of wisdom already burns in the temple of your spirit. The affirmation fans it into brilliance. For 3 days you are not creating something foreign, but releasing what has always been yours. This is why the affirmation feels so powerful, because deep down you know it to be true. You are simply reminding yourself of your divine inheritance. Let me speak to you with urgency. Guard your words beyond these 3 days as you would guard a treasure. Do not finish a negative sentence. Do not speak of what you do not wish to see. If a word of fear slips out, reverse it at once. Declare its opposite with conviction. I am not weak, I am strong through the infinite within me. I am not poor, I am a channel of divine abundance. I am not lost, I am guided by infinite wisdom. In this way you train the tongue to serve truth and the subconscious to serve life. For the tongue is the rudder of the ship, small yet powerful, and if you set it rightly, it will steer you into safe harbors of prosperity and peace. So let us seal this moment together. Whisper now, not as one who begs, but as one who commands. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Feel it vibrate through your chest. Let it resonate in your mind. Let it engrave itself upon your heart. For 3 days you have chosen to live as a master of your words, and soon the world itself will bow to the law you have obeyed. The doors are opening, the path is clearing, the harvest is certain. For what is impressed is expressed, and the word you have spoken shall not return void. Every age of man has sought the secret to power, the key to turning unseen dreams into visible reality. And the truth has always been the same. The word spoken with belief is the word that creates. Kings have built empires with decrees. Sages have healed bodies with prayers. Visionaries have drawn nations forward with affirmations of destiny. The principle never changes. The subconscious mind, infinite in its reach, accepts the command impressed upon it and manifests accordingly. For 3 days you have walked in this secret, speaking words that align you with divine law. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. These are not casual words. They are a covenant, a declaration, a spiritual decree that has already begun to shape your life into harmony with itself. Now you must understand the permanence of this work. The 3 days were not a ritual to be discarded when finished, but a foundation upon which to build the rest of your days. Just as a seed once planted continues to grow, so too will the words you have spoken continue to reverberate in your subconscious, shaping your destiny long after the 3 days have passed. The key is to maintain the soil, to keep it fertile with gratitude, peace, and expectancy. Do not uproot what you have planted with carelessness. Do not contradict your decree with idle chatter of lack and defeat. Speak only words that align with the truth you have already claimed, and the harvest will continue to multiply. The doors you sought are already moving. Some will open suddenly, like gates swinging wide at your command. Others will open quietly, so seamlessly you scarcely notice until you find yourself standing in a place of opportunity you once thought beyond your reach. Do not measure by appearances alone. Trust the process, for infinite intelligence knows the exact timing and order of every unfolding. A job offer, a conversation, a new connection, a sudden idea. All of these are doors, and all of them will appear in divine order. Be alert, be receptive, be ready to step through without hesitation. The law will do its work, but you must be willing to act when the door stands open. Faith without action is incomplete, for the subconscious arranges the opportunity, but your conscious will must walk through it. Guard against the temptation to think small once the first door opens. The law does not stop at one blessing. It is infinite in supply, boundless in generosity, inexhaustible in creativity. One door leads to another. One opportunity multiplies into many. One act of wisdom begets greater wisdom. Do not shrink back into old patterns of fear. Do not say, "This is enough, I should not ask for more." Such thinking belongs to the mind of limitation, not to the mind aligned with infinite abundance. You are not stealing from the universe. You are participating in its endless flow. The more you receive, the more you can give, the more you can bless others, the more you can glorify the source from which all blessings flow. You will notice also that wisdom itself begins to move through you in ways you did not expect. Situations that once confused you become clear. Choices that once felt heavy become light. Conversations flow with insight. You begin to carry within you a quiet authority, a presence that others can feel. This is not arrogance, but alignment. It is the wisdom of the infinite expressing through your subconscious, shaping your decisions, guiding your steps. Trust this wisdom. Listen to it. It will not shout but whisper, and the whisper will always be in harmony with truth, with love, with order. Follow it, and you will find that every path becomes straight before you. The 3 days of affirmation were the spark, but the flame must now be tended. Continue to speak the words. Continue to affirm with feeling. Continue to write them, to whisper them as you drift into sleep, to declare them when doubt stirs. Make them the rhythm of your life, not just the practice of a moment. And as you do, you will find that the subconscious itself becomes trained, like a loyal servant who no longer needs constant instruction, because it has absorbed the master's will. Soon, even when you are silent, it will continue to carry out the command, arranging your life according to the decree of wealth, wisdom, and freedom. Remember also that the law of life is the law of belief, and belief grows stronger when shared. Speak words of encouragement to others. Affirm their strength, their abundance, their wisdom. In doing so, you reinforce your own belief, for the subconscious does not distinguish between what you declare for yourself and what you declare for another. Every blessing you speak circles back to you multiplied. Become a channel of affirmation in your world, and you will find that the doors opening for you also open for others, creating a chain of blessing that extends far beyond your sight. And so I leave you with this. The power is already within you. You do not need to beg. You do not need to wait. You do not need to fear. You need only to believe, to affirm, to persist. For 3 days you have proven the law. Now live by it. Carry the words with you as your armor, your compass, your crown. Whisper them even now, one last time in this sacred space. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Let it resound in your heart. Let it vibrate through your soul. For what you have impressed is already expressing. What you have declared is already unfolding, and the doors are already opening before you. Walk through them with courage. Walk through them with gratitude. Walk through them knowing that infinite intelligence goes before you, making straight the way, and that nothing can stand against the decree you have written in the depths of your being. There are words that change everything. Words that open doors you once thought sealed. Words that carry the vibration of life itself. For 3 days, if you take these words into your heart, speak them with conviction, and impress them upon your subconscious mind, you will begin to see shifts that no human logic can explain. Why? Because the law of life is the law of belief. Your subconscious does not argue. It accepts as true the feeling you plant within it, and once planted, it brings forth fruit after its kind. Imagine a farmer scattering seeds into the soil. The earth does not question if the seed is noble or vile. It brings forth according to what is sown. Likewise, your subconscious is the silent soil of your destiny, and every affirmation you speak with feeling is a seed that must germinate in the hidden chambers of your mind until it bursts forth into your lived experience. Consider this. How often have you spoken words of defeat, even without realizing it? How often have you declared with a sigh, "I can't afford it," or "It's not possible for me"? Each utterance is a command to your subconscious, and because it cannot discern truth from falsehood, it simply accepts the order and begins to shape your circumstances to match that belief. But when you reverse this process, when you consciously choose to speak words aligned with divine truth, words charged with expectancy, words that affirm harmony, health, success, and abundance, you reverse the tide. You set in motion a chain of events that begin within and echo outward into every corner of your life. You become, quite literally, the captain who commands the ship of your destiny, and your subconscious becomes the faithful crew who carries out every command. The words I am asking you to use for 3 days are not ordinary words. They are words that have been uttered by mystics, poets, and sages across centuries. They carry the law of belief wrapped in the mantle of divine authority. Speak them as if you were breathing life itself into your future. When you declare, "I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubt," you are not begging, you are not wishing, you are commanding. You are impressing the subconscious with a decree that must be honored, for it is written, "What is impressed is expressed." These words will work for you if you let them sink beyond the surface chatter of the intellect into that deeper realm where belief is formed and destiny is written. For 3 days, do not merely say them mechanically. Feel them, imagine them, see the doors opening in your mind as you say them. Let each repetition be an act of creation. I have seen this law demonstrated in every walk of life. A man bedridden with despair, repeating daily that the rejuvenating power of God flowed through him like a golden river, rose from weakness into vitality. A young woman who once muttered only words of loneliness began to affirm, "Divine love fills my heart, attracting to me harmony, joy, and companionship," and soon her life blossomed into love and community. An engineer overwhelmed by obstacles began each morning with words of order and guidance, and projects that once faltered fell into alignment with remarkable ease. What made the difference? Not chance, not luck, but words. Spoken words charged with faith. Words that impressed the subconscious and turned invisible patterns into visible reality. There is an invisible ingredient to this practice, inner peace. You cannot plant seeds in agitated soil and expect them to take root. For these 3 days, approach your affirmations not in a state of strain, but in a state of calm expectancy. Laughter, gratitude, quiet moments of reflection. These clear the soil of resentment and worry, making it fertile for the seeds of your new words. As you speak, let joy accompany the affirmation. Remember this, joy is the sound of faith already celebrating. When you feel joy as you speak your word, you are telling your subconscious it is already done. And the subconscious, obedient as it is, goes to work to make it so. The subconscious is like a faithful servant who hears only the tone of your command. If you order with trembling and hesitation, it carries out the command in weakness. But if you speak with the quiet certainty of one who knows that infinite intelligence backs every word, then your subconscious executes that decree with precision and power. That is why for 3 days, every time doubt creeps in, every time fear attempts to whisper, you must return to your words. Do not argue with doubt. Do not wrestle with fear. Simply override them with the affirmation you have chosen. Say it aloud, write it, let it echo in your heart, until it is the only voice that speaks within you. In sacred scripture it is written, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Notice it does not say as a man casually thinks in his head, but in his heart, the subconscious, the seat of belief. For 3 days, let these words be planted in that deeper soil. Write them upon paper, and as you do, let the act of writing engrave them more deeply upon the inner tablets of your being. Read them morning and night, when the mind is most receptive, when the gates of the subconscious are open and impression is easiest. As you drift into sleep, let these words be the last seed planted, so that as your body rests, the subconscious works tirelessly to bring forth their expression. You must remember that life itself mirrors your inner state. The people, the opportunities, the obstacles, the doors. Every one of them is but a reflection of the patterns you carry within. If the inner pattern is one of defeat, doors close. If the inner pattern is one of harmony, doors open. Change the pattern within, and you will see the outer reflection adjust like the shifting of a mirror. For 3 days, your task is not to beg the mirror to change, but to alter the face you present to it. The affirmation, repeated with feeling, is the act of painting a new image upon the mirror of your subconscious, and the outer world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. Some will say, is it truly that simple? And I tell you, yes it is. It is simple, though not always easy, for the mind is often restless and prone to wander. But for 3 days, if you set your intention firmly, if you choose not to deviate, if you return again and again to your words, you will have impressed a new command upon your subconscious. And once impressed, it must be expressed. The law of belief is not a sometimes law, it is as constant as gravity. The words you speak with conviction will mold your tomorrow, as surely as the seeds planted today become the harvest of tomorrow. So I ask you now, take these words into your heart. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Say them aloud. Whisper them in silence. Write them down. Let them echo in the stillness of your nights and in the rising of your mornings. For 3 days, guard them as a treasure. Carry them as a torch, and watch as the unseen doors begin to swing wide before you. Do not strain, do not force, simply affirm and believe. The power is not in struggle, but in alignment. For what is impressed will be expressed, and what you decree within will be established without. The words you have spoken are not mere sounds that vanish into the air. They are vibrations that echo into the very fabric of your being. When you declare, I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts, you are not simply reciting a sentence, you are striking a chord in the hidden depths of the subconscious, and that chord continues to resonate long after the words have left your lips. The subconscious is like the deep ocean, unseen yet powerful, and your affirmations are stones cast into its waters, sending ripples outward until they touch every shore of your existence. Every action you take, every encounter you have, every opportunity that arises, they all begin to align with the new vibration you have set in motion. This is the mystery of the law of belief. What you impress, you express. What you decree inwardly, you demonstrate outwardly. If for 3 days you remain faithful to these words, you will begin to notice subtle changes, shifts so small at first that the ordinary mind might dismiss them. A conversation opens where there was silence. A message arrives unexpectedly. A stranger extends a kindness that sets into motion a chain of events. Do not overlook these beginnings. The great oak was once a seed, hidden and unseen, yet carrying within it the form of its destiny. Likewise, your affirmation is the seed of a new life, and it begins to break the soil in ways that may appear small, but are in truth the heralds of greater manifestations to come. You may feel a sudden sense of calm, a release of a burden you carried without knowing. This too is a door opening, the door of inner harmony, and when that door opens, the outer ones will follow. Remember that your subconscious mind does not resist or delay when given clear orders. The only resistance it knows is the contradiction you impose through fear, doubt, and resentment. For these 3 days, I ask you to practice the art of non-resistance. When old thoughts arise, thoughts of lack, thoughts of fear, do not wrestle with them, for to wrestle is to give them power. Simply withdraw your attention and return to your affirmation. Declare again with quiet confidence, I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Let these words be your refuge, your fortress, your shield. They dissolve everything unlike themselves, for light does not argue with darkness. It simply shines, and the darkness vanishes. The mind is a garden, and for 3 days you are the gardener on sacred duty. Every affirmation is a seed you plant, and every doubt is a weed you must refuse to water. Do not think you must rid the garden of all weeds at once. Simply continue planting, continue affirming, and soon the strength of the new growth will overtake the old. Imagine yourself standing in that garden, speaking these words as you scatter seed after seed into the fertile soil of your subconscious. Each word is a golden seed, each repetition a watering, each feeling of faith a ray of sunlight. And the harvest will come as surely as day follows night, for the law cannot fail. What you sow, you shall reap. You are not alone in this practice, for when you affirm, you align with infinite diligence, that presence which has fashioned galaxies and woven the fabric of life itself. Do you think it difficult for this infinite to open doors for you, to arrange circumstances, to move through people, to bring forth opportunities? No, the difficulty lies only in the divided mind, the mind that speaks faith in the morning but cancels it with fear by evening. For 3 days let there be no division. Let your mind be single, your words consistent, your beliefs steady. You will feel a current beneath your affirmations, a strength not your own, as if the very river of life has begun to carry you. Trust that current. Flow with it. As you practice this, observe how your body responds. Notice how tension begins to dissolve, how a sense of vitality arises as if a golden river were flowing through every cell. This is no illusion, for the body itself is shaped and governed by the subconscious. Speak words of harmony, and your body becomes the dwelling of harmony. Speak words of wealth, and your posture, your decisions, your energy begin to reflect abundance. Every cell listens, every nerve responds, every organ obeys. Just as the subconscious builds and heals the body without your conscious effort, so too it builds the circumstances of your life when directed by affirmations of truth. It is crucial to remember that the words you use must be felt, not merely spoken. Mechanical repetition will yield little. It is the emotion, the belief, the expectancy that engraves the words upon the subconscious. Therefore, when you affirm, pause and imagine. See the door opening before you. Feel the freedom of walking through it. Taste the sweetness of the opportunity realized. Let the affirmation become alive with sensation, for the subconscious is moved not by hollow syllables but by living pictures charged with feeling. When words and feelings unite, creation begins. There is no need to force results, for force belongs to the realm of fear. Instead, cultivate expectancy. Expectancy is faith in motion, the quiet knowing that what you have affirmed is already moving into form. Just as a woman who plants a seed in her garden expects to see sprouts without digging up the soil each day, so must you affirm and release, affirm and trust. For 3 days, plant the seed and let it grow. Do not disturb it with anxious questions of when or how. That is not your work. Your work is to speak, to feel, to believe. The infinite intelligence will arrange the rest. Think of this time as a sacred covenant you are making with yourself. For 3 days you set aside the old words of defeat and limitation, and you consecrate your speech to truth. Every time you affirm, you renew this covenant, you seal it deeper into your being. Let it be done with reverence, with a sense of partnership with the divine. Say to yourself, these words are life to me. They are spirit, they are truth, and they shall not return void. As Scripture declares, the word goes forth and accomplishes that for which it is sent. Your affirmation is not powerless. It is armed with the authority of divine law. So let us continue together. Whisper it in your heart now. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Do you feel it? Do you sense the weight of the old chains loosening as you declare it? Do you see even faintly the image of new doors opening before you? Hold that feeling. For 3 days, let it be the rhythm of your breath. There is a secret world within you that is richer than gold and greater than kingdoms. A world where every idea planted becomes a harvest, where every belief becomes a reality on the screen of life. This world is your subconscious mind. It is the treasure house of eternity, the fountain from which health, wealth, and every form of success flows. But most men walk through life blind to its presence, begging for crumbs when within them lies the banquet of abundance. They look outward to circumstance, to fortune, to the fickle favor of others, when all the while the key has been hidden within their own thought. Wealth is not created by the labor of your hands alone. It is shaped by the images and convictions impressed upon your inner mind. Every coin in your pocket, every opportunity that appears, every connection and advantage, all of it begins as a thought in the depths of your subconscious. Consider this. Every thought you think is a seed, and your subconscious mind is fertile soil that does not argue, does not question, but simply accepts the impressions it receives. If you plant weeds, weeds will grow. If you plant roses, roses will bloom. The subconscious does not choose, it obeys. It cannot distinguish between truth and falsehood. It only brings forth that which is impressed upon it with faith and emotion. That is why the man who constantly entertains thoughts of lack, who repeats to himself, I can't afford it, or I will never succeed, finds his life echoing those words. His subconscious has accepted the command, and his outer world simply follows. Meanwhile, another who fills his mind with images of abundance, who walks with the inner certainty that the riches of the infinite flow through him, will discover doors opening, chances arising, and resources multiplying. The soil of the mind has produced according to the seed. The law of life is the law of belief. Say it now, quietly to yourself. The law of life is the law of belief. Whatever you believe with feeling and conviction, your subconscious accepts and expresses. The law of belief is impartial. It does not care whether your belief is noble or destructive, generous or fearful. If you believe you are doomed, it will carry that doom into expression. If you believe you are blessed, it will manifest blessings without fail. This is not a superstition, but a law, as exact as gravity. Men may scoff at it, but they are living proofs of it. For every one of us is the sum total of the beliefs we have nourished and repeated within. The world you see is the mirror of the world you have impressed upon your subconscious. Change the impression, and the reflection must change. Perhaps you have wondered why one man with no special education rises to wealth and influence, while another, armed with talent and learning, remains in poverty. The reason is not chance. It is not luck. It is the inner blueprint. The man of wealth has impressed upon his subconscious an image of success, an inner sense of deserving, of expectancy. He has united thought with faith, and the subconscious has accepted the command and carried it out in the theater of life. The poor man, though brilliant, may carry a hidden conviction of unworthiness, a fear of failure, a deep belief in lack, and so his subconscious obeys his belief and expresses it as struggle and want. The law is impartial. It delivers to both men precisely what they have impressed upon it. You are not a victim of fortune. You are the captain of your fate, the master of your destiny, because your subconscious mind is your faithful servant. It will not betray the orders given to it by your conscious mind. If you wish to grow rich, you must first impress riches upon your inner world, not by wishing vaguely, not by daydreaming idly, but by planting strong, clear images of abundance and repeating them until they sink deep into the subconscious. Speak wealth, think wealth, feel wealth, and your subconscious will express wealth. Every time you declare, "I am one with the riches of God," you are sowing a seed in the soil of mind, and that seed will grow. Do not imagine that this law is only for money. Wealth is a state of consciousness, a sense of fullness, an awareness of the infinite source. When you cultivate that awareness, it manifests in all areas: health, relationships, creativity, and supply. Money is only one channel through which the richness of life flows. But the source is always the same, the infinite subconscious within you. A man may accumulate money and yet live in fear, misery, and sickness because he has not cultivated the true sense of inner wealth. Real riches come when the subconscious is saturated with thoughts of harmony, gratitude, and abundance, for then every form of prosperity follows. Now, how do you begin this process? You begin by watching the words you speak and the thoughts you entertain. Never finish a negative statement about your finances. Reverse it immediately and affirm the opposite. If a thought arises, "I can't afford this," quickly replace it with, "I can afford all that I need through the riches of the infinite within me." If you feel fear, affirm, "God's wealth flows freely to me now. I am guided in all my ways." The repetition of these affirmations impresses new patterns upon your subconscious, and in time your outer world will conform. The law cannot fail. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. One woman I once counseled was burdened by debt and despair. Each night she would repeat with feeling, "I am surrounded by God's riches. I give thanks for financial freedom." She visualized herself writing checks with ease, paying bills joyfully, and living in abundance. Within 6 months, unexpected opportunities came, her income doubled, and she cleared her debts entirely. She had not forced the outer world, she had changed the inner world, and the outer followed. That is the power you hold. It is not the outer condition, but the inner conviction that matters. When you begin to practice this law, do not strain or struggle. Wealth is not attracted through tension. It flows through relaxation and trust. The subconscious mind works most effectively when you are calm, when you have released fear and surrendered to the divine order. Spend time each day in quiet reflection, affirming with gentle conviction, "I am a channel for the riches of the infinite. Prosperity flows through me now." Imagine yourself already in possession of abundance. See it clearly, and let the feeling of gratitude fill you. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you become. The subconscious accepts it, and life must mirror it. Tonight, before you sleep, impress upon your inner mind a simple yet powerful decree. Say it aloud, write it down, let it echo within you until it becomes your own heartbeat. "I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts." Speak it with authority, and your subconscious will carry it out as surely as the soil brings forth the harvest. This is the beginning of your journey into the riches of life, the unseen wealth within that shapes the seen wealth without. When you wake each morning, your mind is like freshly tilled soil, ready to receive the seeds you choose to plant. The impressions made in the quiet moments before the day's noise begins are the ones that sink deepest into your subconscious. That is why it is vital to begin with thoughts of abundance, harmony, and divine provision. Before you rise, declare to yourself with feeling, "This is the day the Lord hath made. I rejoice and am glad in it. Infinite riches are flowing to me freely, joyously, and endlessly." Let those words become the atmosphere of your mind, for the subconscious will accept them as truth, and the day will unfold in alignment with them. A man who starts his morning complaining about lack or difficulty is planting weeds, and he should not be surprised when his day bears thorns. But one who begins with gratitude and expectancy is planting roses, and the fragrance will follow him into every encounter. Every great fortune ever built began in the invisible realm of thought. The merchant who dreams of ships filled with goods, the artist who envisions masterpieces before they are painted, the builder who sees a city rising where only desert lies. All of them impress their vision upon the subconscious and trust that the outer world will conform. The secret is not hard labor without direction, but inner clarity and conviction. A man may toil endlessly yet remain poor if he carries the consciousness of poverty. Another with calm faith and a rich inner image will attract opportunities, helpers, and circumstances to bring his vision to life. The difference lies not in fate, but in the hidden workshop of the subconscious. You must understand that the subconscious mind is the unseen partner in every transaction of life. It is not bound by time, place, or circumstance. It operates through ways and channels the conscious mind cannot predict. When you impress upon it an idea of wealth, it may open opportunities you never expected, draw to you people you have never met, or cause sudden insights to spring into your mind. That is why you must never limit the manner in which your riches will come. Your part is to decide what you desire and impress it with conviction upon your inner mind. Leave the how to the infinite intelligence. Trust the process, and the results will astonish you. Do not be deceived by appearances. You may look at your bank account and see emptiness, but that is only the reflection of past thinking. If you continue to dwell on that emptiness, you will perpetuate it. Instead, look within and fill your mind with images of abundance. Speak words of prosperity and act as if the wealth you desire is already on its way. Life mirrors your inner state. Change the inner conviction, and the outer world must eventually align. This is the law of belief, and the law does not fail. The man who persists in holding the vision of wealth, no matter what outer conditions show, will see his world transform. Faith is the bridge between the conscious command and the subconscious response. Without faith, words are empty. With faith, words are living power. That is why the ancient scripture declares, "According to your faith, be it unto you." You may repeat affirmations endlessly, but if you secretly believe they will not work, you are impressing failure upon your subconscious. But if you repeat them with conviction, with expectancy, with the inner certainty that infinite intelligence is responding, then those affirmations become seeds of power. Say to yourself, "I am guided to success. The riches of the infinite flow to me now. Every day I grow in wealth, wisdom, and peace." Let these not be idle words, but living declarations backed by faith, and your subconscious will move mountains to make them real. I once knew a man who had failed in business repeatedly. Each time he lost money, he grew more fearful and convinced that he was doomed to failure. At last he learned the secret of the subconscious. Instead of repeating his fears, he began to affirm, "I am divinely guided in all my ways. I am prospered in everything I do. Success is mine. Harmony is mine. Abundance is mine." At first his old fears tried to rise again, but he persisted. Within a year, a new idea came to him. He started a modest business, and prosperity flowed to him in ways he had never imagined. The change was not in the economy or in luck. It was in the inner blueprint impressed upon his subconscious mind. Guard carefully the images you entertain. The subconscious mind is impressionable like soft clay, and every thought pressed upon it leaves its mark. If you speak words of fear, resentment, or limitation, you are molding your destiny in those forms. If you speak words of abundance, harmony, and love, you are shaping a future rich with those qualities. You cannot speak of lack continually and expect abundance to come. You cannot complain of poverty and then wonder why riches evade you. The subconscious takes your dominant thoughts as commands and obeys them with impartial fidelity. Choose wisely what you impress upon it. At night, just before sleep, your conscious mind grows quiet and your subconscious is most receptive. This is the sacred hour to plant seeds of wealth. Instead of replaying the failures of the day or worrying about tomorrow, turn your thoughts to abundance. Picture yourself living in comfort, surrounded by prosperity, enjoying freedom and peace. Feel the gratitude as if it were already real. Then declare softly, "I am one with the infinite riches of my subconscious. Wealth flows to me freely and endlessly. I sleep in peace and I awaken to prosperity." As you drift into slumber, these impressions sink deep, and your subconscious works through the night to carry them into expression. Remember, the riches of life are not created by accident. They are shaped by design. and the designer is your own inner mind. The treasure house is within you, and its doors open at the command of belief. Begin today to speak wealth, to imagine wealth, to feel wealth, and let no thought of limitation linger. Say now with conviction, and let it be engraved upon the tablet of your heart, I am a channel of divine abundance. Prosperity flows to me freely. Everywhere you look in the world, you see the evidence of the law of belief at work. Nations rise and fall according to the collective images impressed upon their subconscious. Families prosper or decline in harmony with their inner convictions, and individuals create joy or misery by the thoughts they nourish day after day. Life does not play favorites. It is not a lottery of chance. It is a mirror reflecting the dominant belief. That is why two men can stand in the same city, under the same conditions, and live in opposite realities, one surrounded by opportunity, the other trapped in despair. It is not the environment that decides. It is the consciousness each man brings to the environment. You cannot escape the law. As within, so without. If you desire to grow rich, then you must train yourself to think from the end. Do not wait until wealth appears in your bank account to feel abundant. Begin now to feel the reality of riches within you. Picture yourself free, successful, confident. Imagine yourself walking with calm assurance, giving generously, living in a home that radiates comfort and beauty. See it, hear it, feel it until it becomes natural. The subconscious does not distinguish between reality and imagination. It accepts whatever is vividly impressed upon it. When you think from the end, you are planting the seed of the result you desire, and the subconscious will bring it forth. There is immense power in the words I am. Whatever you attach to those two words, you are commanding your subconscious to express. If you say, I am poor, you are issuing a decree of poverty. If you say, I am wealthy, you are planting a seed of prosperity. Speak those words with conviction, and they will shape your destiny. Say now, I am wealthy, I am successful, I am blessed. Let the sound of those words penetrate your inner being. Write them down, carry them with you. Repeat them until they become the rhythm of your thought. Your subconscious will not argue. It will simply obey. You must also guard against the poison of resentment and envy. Many block their prosperity by looking at the success of others with bitterness, saying, why should he have so much while I have so little? Such thoughts are seeds of lack, and they choke the harvest of your own abundance. When you see another prosper, bless them silently. Say, I rejoice in the success of that man. The same riches flow to me also. In blessing others, you bless yourself, for your subconscious interprets your attitude as your own reality. Resentment binds you to poverty. Goodwill frees you to prosperity. Do not fall into the trap of thinking that wealth is evil or unspiritual. Such beliefs have crippled countless men and women who long for abundance, but unconsciously reject it. Wealth is not the enemy of the soul. It is the expression of divine abundance in the material realm. When used with wisdom, it brings freedom, opportunity, and blessing. Poverty is no virtue. It is a condition of limitation, born of false beliefs. To embrace prosperity is to honor the infinite source that longs to express itself through you. Say within, God is my supply. Riches flow to me as rivers of life. I accept them with gratitude and use them for good. Such a conviction opens the gates of abundance. Your subconscious mind is like a servant standing ready at all times. If you feed it fear and doubt, it will serve you failure. If you feed it faith and expectancy, it will serve you success. The choice is always yours. Begin each day by issuing clear, positive commands. Say, infinite riches are mine now. I walk in abundance. I am guided in prosperity. These are not empty wishes but commands to the inner power that shapes destiny. Over time, the subconscious will accept them, and your life will begin to mirror the wealth you have declared. I recall a young man who once feared he would never escape poverty. He had grown up in want, and every thought he entertained reinforced his sense of lack. When he learned this law, he began to speak daily. I am a child of the infinite. Wealth flows to me freely. I am guided to success. At first, his outer life did not change, but he persisted. Within months, he received an unexpected opportunity, then another, and soon he was earning more than he had ever imagined. His transformation was not luck. It was the inevitable result of changing the impressions on his subconscious mind. Understand this truth. There is no limitation except the one you accept within yourself. The riches of the infinite are boundless, and you are a channel through which they can flow. If you think small, you limit the flow. If you think great, you expand it. Lift your vision beyond survival to abundance, beyond struggle to ease. beyond mere existence to joyful living. Declare boldly, I am open to the treasures of the universe. My mind is a magnet for prosperity. As you impress these thoughts upon your subconscious, life will rise to match them. At night, as you close your eyes, imagine your life exactly as you desire it to be. Picture your surroundings rich and comfortable, your heart full of peace, your hands free to give generously. Do not merely see it, feel it as if it were true now. Let gratitude rise within you, as if your desires had already been fulfilled. In that state of faith, whisper softly, I am one with the infinite source of abundance. I live in riches now. Fall asleep with those words, and your subconscious will work through the night to weave them into your destiny. Say this aloud now, and let it sink deeply into the soil of your inner being. I am wealth in motion. I am guided, guarded, and prospered. The greatest mistake men make in their pursuit of riches is to believe that money alone will solve their sense of lack. They imagine that if only they had more, their fears would vanish and their anxieties dissolve. Yet many who gain money without changing the inner blueprint remain restless, fearful, and unsatisfied. True riches begin in consciousness, not in possessions. The wealthy man who carries fear within is still poor, for he is enslaved by anxiety. But the man who carries abundance in his subconscious is already rich, even before the outer supply arrives. For when the inner mind is saturated with peace, confidence, and expectancy, money becomes only a natural channel of expression. It is never the source. The source is always the infinite within. Your subconscious mind cannot be bribed by desperation or forced by anxiety. It responds only to conviction, to the calm assurance of belief. This is why worry repels the very wealth you seek. When you dwell in tension, saying, I need money, I must have money, I cannot go on without it, you are impressing lack upon your subconscious, and it will faithfully express that lack. Instead, you must act from the end, speaking as one who already possesses the wealth desired. Say, infinite supply flows to me freely. My needs are met in divine order. This quiet assurance is the language the subconscious understands. One of the most potent tools for wealth is imagination. The images you hold consistently become the molds into which life pours substance. If you picture yourself struggling, your subconscious will express struggle. If you picture yourself free and abundant, it will shape conditions to match. Imagination is the workshop of the mind, and wealth is built first in that workshop before it appears in the world. Sit quietly each day and imagine yourself in possession of what you desire. Feel the joy of freedom, the gratitude of supply, the ease of abundance. These mental pictures, impressed deeply with emotion, are seeds that cannot fail to grow. I remember a woman who was constantly burdened by financial problems. Every night she rehearsed her difficulties, thinking of bills and debts. Her subconscious faithfully produced more struggle. When she was taught to imagine herself writing checks with ease, walking in a home filled with beauty, and giving generously, her life transformed. Within a year, unexpected income appeared. Her debts vanished and she lived in comfort. The change was not in the world, it was in the images impressed upon her subconscious. The inner picture became the outer reality. Let me warn you of a subtle trap. Do not mix contradictory seeds. Some people affirm wealth for 5 minutes a day, then spend the rest of their time complaining of lack, fearing the future, or envying the prosperity of others. Such double-mindedness weakens the impression on the subconscious. The stronger seed will always prevail, and too often it is the seed of fear. You must be consistent. Speak wealth in the morning, act in harmony with wealth through the day, and close your eyes at night with gratitude for abundance. Guard your mind as you would guard a garden from weeds, for every thought is a seed, and the harvest is certain. Another principle you must grasp is that giving and receiving are one. Many hold tightly to what little they have, fearing that generosity will leave them empty. But this fear blocks the flow of abundance. The law of life is circulation. As you give, so shall you receive. The miser who hoards is declaring lack, and his subconscious mirrors it. But the man who gives freely with faith is declaring abundance, and his subconscious multiplies it. This does not mean reckless spending, but the joyful sharing of good, knowing that the infinite is your supply. Each time you give with love, say within, as I give, so I receive. I live in the endless circulation of divine riches. Faith is the golden key. Without it, affirmations are empty words. With it, they become living decrees. Faith is not mere hope or wishful thinking. It is the inner certainty that what you desire already exists in the unseen, and is moving toward manifestation. Cultivate faith by recalling the countless times life has provided, by remembering the order and abundance of nature, by reading words of truth until they burn within you. Say aloud, I have faith in the infinite source. I trust the power within me. Wealth is mine now. Let this faith rise in you until it is unshakable, and the subconscious will express it with mathematical precision. You are not asking for wealth from outside yourself. You are releasing wealth from within yourself. The subconscious holds within it infinite riches waiting to be expressed. You are like a spring of water covered by stones. Remove the stones of fear, doubt, and resentment, and the waters of abundance will flow freely. Stop looking to others as your source, your employer, your clients, your business. These are only channels. The true source is the infinite within, and its supply is limitless. Attach yourself to this truth, and you will never fear lack again. Each evening, remind yourself of this eternal truth. Wealth, health, and success are released from within and appear without. I am a channel of divine abundance. I am at peace. Let these words sink into your subconscious as you drift into sleep, and let them rise with you in the morning. Over time, they will shape your reality into harmony with their message. Life is not chance, it is law. And the law is that what is impressed within must be expressed without. Say this now with calm assurance. Let it be etched upon your soul. I am a focal point of divine riches. I am open, receptive, and grateful. There is a hidden wealth greater than coins or jewels, and that wealth is the calm authority of a mind that knows its own power. Most men stumble through life like beggars at the gate of their own palace, pleading for scraps when infinite supply lies within their reach. They have been trained to look outward, to governments, to markets, to employers, to circumstances, never realizing that the true source is not out there but in here, in the deep subconscious that responds to belief. When you awaken to this, you no longer live as a slave of fear. You no longer wait for permission to prosper. You recognize that your mind is the treasury of God, and from that treasury flows every form of good you could ever desire. Every fortune you see in the world began with an unseen decree spoken in the silence of mind. The skyscraper, the factory, the business empire, all of them are outer shadows of inner images impressed upon the subconscious. Understand this well, the outer is the servant of the inner. When you change the inner blueprint, the outer structure must obey. A man who carries thoughts of defeat, of unworthiness, of fear, cannot build lasting prosperity, for his subconscious will sabotage his every effort. But the man who saturates his inner world with conviction of abundance will see that conviction clothed in flesh, brick, and opportunity. Life has no choice but to echo the song you sing within. You may say, but I have worked hard, I have struggled, and still I lack. Hard work without right belief is like planting seeds in barren soil. The soil is what matters most. Your subconscious is that soil, and unless you enrich it with faith, imagination, and expectancy, your labor will yield little. This is why some toil endlessly yet remain poor, while others with calm confidence attract success with ease. It is not favoritism, it is law. The subconscious gives to each according to the seed sown. The secret is not harder effort, but wiser planting. Sow ideas of wealth, water them with faith, and let the harvest come. One principle you must engrave upon your mind is this: never speak words of limitation. Each time you say, I can't afford it, you are commanding your subconscious to express lack. Each time you complain money is scarce, opportunities are few, you are impressing scarcity upon the soil of mind. The subconscious hears only the decree and obeys. But when you speak, I am supplied in divine order, opportunities are flowing to me now, you are commanding abundance, and abundance must come, for the law of belief is impartial and unchanging. Guard your words, for they are seeds, and your life is their harvest. There is also the matter of expectation. Some repeat affirmations but cancel them with doubt, saying, it may work for others but not for me. This divided mind produces divided results. You must align thought, word, and feeling. When you affirm wealth, expect it as surely as you expect the sun to rise. Expectation is the magnet of manifestation. To say, I am wealthy with your lips while expecting failure in your heart is to plant mixed seeds. The stronger will prevail, and too often it is the seed of doubt. But when you expect abundance as a law, as certain as gravity, your subconscious aligns with that expectation and delivers it without fail. Envy is another thief of wealth. To resent another's prosperity is to declare that riches are scarce, that another's gain is your loss. This belief of scarcity is immediately impressed upon the subconscious, and it responds by producing lack. Instead, when you see others prosper, bless them silently. Say within, what God has done for them, God is doing for me. I rejoice in their success and I know mine is assured. Such an attitude imprints abundance, and the subconscious expresses it. To bless wealth wherever you see it is to multiply wealth within yourself. You must also learn to direct gratitude toward the unseen. Many give thanks only after riches arrive, but true gratitude is expressed before the evidence appears, while the seed is still beneath the soil. When you give thanks for abundance in advance, you are declaring faith in the law, and your subconscious accepts it as present reality. Each morning say with feeling, thank you, Father, for the riches flowing to me now. Thank you for the prosperity, the opportunities, the freedom, and the peace. Gratitude engraves the conviction upon your subconscious, and life responds accordingly. Another man once told me he had tried everything to improve his finances, yet nothing changed. When I questioned him, I found that he constantly entertained thoughts of fear and repeated stories of failure. He would affirm wealth for a moment, but return quickly to anxiety about bills. I taught him to shift his focus. Each day he was to sit quietly and repeat, infinite riches flow to me now. I am guided, guarded, and prospered. He was to feel it, to imagine it, to give thanks as if it were already real. Within 3 months, unexpected income arrived, debts dissolved, and he was lifted into a new life. His efforts had failed before because he was planting weeds alongside roses. When he committed wholly to roses, the garden blossomed. Say these words now, not as idle sounds, but as a decree written upon your heart. I am one with the infinite supply. I expect miracles of prosperity. The subconscious mind is a faithful engine, always at work, whether you guide it or neglect it. Day and night, it carries out the orders you give, and it does so without question. If you impress it with fear, it manufactures obstacles. If you fill it with faith, it constructs opportunities. It is like a vast workshop where every thought is a tool, every image a blueprint, and every word a command. Most men let this workshop be run by accident, filling it with fragments of doubt, resentment, and limitation. Then they wonder why their lives are full of unfinished structures and broken scaffolds. But the wise man takes control, giving his subconscious definite instructions of wealth, harmony, and abundance, and watches as life obediently builds the forms he has chosen. Do not be fooled by appearances or temporary delays. The subconscious is always working, even when results are not yet visible. Just as a seed germinates unseen beneath the soil before breaking the surface, so your affirmations and mental images are quietly forming their expression. Many abandon the law because they grow impatient, digging up the seed before it has time to sprout. They say it isn't working, nothing is happening, and in that moment they impress failure and cancel their progress. The wise persist. They trust the unseen process, knowing that what is impressed must eventually be expressed. This calm faith is the difference between those who prosper and those who remain in want. The language of the subconscious is repetition. One thought spoken once may pass by like a shadow, but repeated with conviction, it becomes an engraving on the mind's tablet. This is why affirmations are powerful. They are not magic words, but chisels carving belief into the inner stone. Each time you repeat, I am wealthy, I am prosperous, I am free, you are deepening the groove until it becomes the dominant pattern. And once the subconscious accepts a pattern, it expresses it as reality. Consistency is the golden secret. Do not affirm wealth for 1 day and neglect it for 10. Make it a daily rhythm, morning and night, until the belief becomes natural, automatic, undeniable. Let us turn to the imagination once more, for it is the paintbrush of destiny. The subconscious responds vividly to images. If you see yourself as poor, struggling, rejected, it will build those pictures into your world. But if you see yourself abundant, free, successful, the subconscious takes that as your order. This is why visualization is not a child's game, but a spiritual science. A businessman once told me he could never imagine himself wealthy. I instructed him to begin small, picturing himself paying bills with ease, walking confidently into his office, seeing satisfied clients. He practiced daily, and soon he could imagine larger scenes of prosperity. Within a year, his income had multiplied. His outer life grew as his inner images expanded. Watch also for the suggestions of others. Every day, people will try to plant seeds in your subconscious with words of fear. The economy is failing. Opportunities are scarce. Money is drying up. If you accept these suggestions, you make them your own. Reject them firmly. Say, I do not accept that belief. Infinite supply is my source. Prosperity flows to me regardless of outer conditions. Your subconscious does not need the approval of the world. It needs only your command. Stand guard at the gate of your mind. Be selective in what you allow to enter, for every suggestion is a seed, and the harvest is inevitable. Resentment and unforgiveness are perhaps the most destructive seeds of all. To hold bitterness is to poison your own soil. You cannot expect wealth while nursing hatred, for the subconscious will express the discord in every area of life. Release those grudges, not for the sake of others, but for your own freedom. Say, I release all resentment. I wish abundance for everyone. Divine love fills my mind and heart. This clears the channel, allowing prosperity to flow. Remember, wealth is harmony, and harmony cannot live in a house divided by bitterness. One woman once carried deep resentment against her employer, believing he had cheated her of opportunities. She lived in constant tension, and her finances suffered. When she learned the law, she began to release him in thought, affirming, I forgive him and set him free. I prosper regardless of him, for God is my source. Within months, new opportunities arose, and her income increased beyond what she had imagined. By releasing resentment, she freed her subconscious to express abundance. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is wisdom. It removes the blockages that keep riches from flowing. Let your prayer for wealth always be positive. Not a plea born of desperation, but a decree born of faith. Pray as if the answer is already present. Say, thank you, Father, that abundance is mine now. I accept it with gratitude. I walk in freedom and prosperity. Feel the joy of answered prayer. The subconscious responds not to begging, but to belief. To pray rightly is to impress the reality of abundance so vividly that it feels present now, and life will reflect that inner certainty. Each night as you prepare to rest, remind yourself gently, my subconscious is the storehouse of infinite wealth. I am guided to prosperity. All that I need comes to me in perfect order. Let these words carry you into sleep, for in the silence of slumber, the subconscious works most powerfully. Then in the morning, rise with expectancy, knowing that unseen forces are arranging your good. The more you live in this rhythm of faith, gratitude, and expectancy, the more natural wealth becomes. Say it now, with calm authority, and let the words sink into your very being. I am a living magnet of divine supply. I attract riches, peace, and freedom. The world around you is filled with men who chase shadows, running after wealth as if it were a wild beast to be captured, never realizing that true abundance is not hunted, but allowed. They exhaust themselves, striving against life, forcing, grasping, fearing every turn, and in the end they discover that even if they gather gold, they remain empty within. But you who understand the power of the subconscious know a higher way. You know that wealth is not pursued, it is expressed. It flows through you when you align your inner conviction with the infinite supply. To grow rich is not to beg, not to fight, not to manipulate, but to command the inner mind with faith, and watch as life reflects that command with exact precision. The subconscious does not delay out of cruelty. It delays because many men send mixed orders. They affirm abundance with their lips, but deny it with their fears. They imagine success for a moment and then sabotage it with resentment, envy, or despair. The law cannot operate in confusion. Just as a captain must give clear directions to his crew, so must you give clear, consistent orders to your subconscious. Tell it what you desire, in plain words and vivid images, and persist until it accepts the pattern. Once it accepts, nothing in heaven or earth can prevent its expression. One truth you must never forget. Abundance is not taken from another, nor is it limited to a few. The supply of the infinite is boundless. There is no shortage in divine mind, no scarcity in the reservoir of spirit. To believe in limitation is to insult the source of life itself. When you say there is not enough, you are declaring that God is inadequate. Refuse to entertain such a lie. Affirm instead, infinite supply is mine now. The riches of God are endless, and they flow through me. In this recognition, you lift yourself out of competition and into creation. You cease to fear the success of others, and instead rejoice, for you know their prosperity proves the abundance of the source you share. Wealth must also be coupled with wisdom. Riches without guidance become a curse. But when you direct your subconscious with the added prayer of wisdom, you align not only with abundance, but with right use of it. Many men who gained fortune lost peace because they lacked the wisdom to channel it. But the one who says, infinite wisdom guides me in all my affairs, I use wealth for good, for freedom, for blessing, finds that money becomes a servant of harmony. Always remember, money is not the master, but the tool. When the subconscious accepts wealth joined with wisdom, it creates prosperity that uplifts rather than destroys. Another danger is fear of loss. Some men accumulate wealth only to live enslaved by the terror of losing it. Such fear imprints itself upon the subconscious, and what they dread eventually appears. The way to preserve riches is to hold them lightly, to know they are expressions of an infinite flow. Say within, wealth flows to me and flows through me. I cannot lose, for my supply is the infinite itself. This conviction removes fear and keeps the channel open. You are not clinging to money, you are resting in the source, and the source never fails. You must learn also to feel deserving of wealth. Many secretly sabotage themselves because they believe they are unworthy. They may affirm prosperity, but within they carry guilt, shame, or self-condemnation, and their subconscious accepts these as barriers. The law cannot give you what you deny yourself. Release the lie of unworthiness. Recognize that you are a child of the infinite, meant to express its fullness. Say, I am worthy of abundance. I accept the riches of life with gratitude. This shift in inner identity dissolves the hidden chains and allows the subconscious to manifest supply freely. Think of wealth not only as money but as a total state of well-being. True riches include health, peace of mind, loving relationships, creative expression, and spiritual freedom. Money is one channel, but the river is larger than coins. When you impress your subconscious with the conviction of overall abundance, every area of life begins to flourish. You sleep in peace. You wake with joy. You walk with freedom. This is the true meaning of prosperity, the overflow of divine life through every channel of your being. Never postpone your good to the future. Many say, one day I will be wealthy, and by saying so, they keep their riches always in the distance. The subconscious hears only the present tense. If you want abundance, affirm it as now. Say, I am wealthy now. I live in abundance now. Prosperity flows to me now. Feel it, believe it, embody it. Life responds to the vibration of your present conviction, not to the hope of a distant tomorrow. The law works in the eternal now. And so as you walk forward from this day, do not wander as one groping in darkness. Walk as one who knows the treasure is already his, who knows that within his own mind lies the key to fortune. Every thought you plant, every word you speak, every image you dwell upon is shaping your destiny. Take the key in hand, plant wealth, speak wealth, imagine wealth, and give thanks for wealth until it becomes the natural rhythm of your soul. Then life with mathematical certainty will pour into your hands the abundance you have decreed. Say it now with authority, engraving it upon the tablet of your subconscious. I am wealth. I am wisdom. I am prosperity in action.